We welcome you to Arrowhead Stadium, Kansas City, Missouri, as the Miami Dolphins and the Kansas City Chiefs meet for the 10th time in regular season play. 10 years ago at the old Municipal Stadium in Kansas City, the Dolphins and Chiefs met in one of the NFL's most memorable games, a game that saw a fellow by the name of Len Dawson combined right here with Ed Podolak. Pro football's longest game, Miami beating Kansas City in double overtime, 27-24 in the AFC Divisional Playoffs. Kansas City with a chance to win it in regulation, but Jan Stenerud had his field goal blocked. So this is a game that went 82 minutes, 40 seconds. A game many consider one of the great ones in the history of the NFL. A game that concluded on this 37-yard field goal in the second overtime by Garo Yepremian to win it for the Dolphins. The 1981 Miami Dolphins are now trying to make the playoffs as they battle it out with the Jets and the Bills in the tightly contested AFC East. Miami coming off last week's 24-14 win over New England as David Woodley hit Eddie Hill, setting up a dazzling move by Hill to score the winning touchdown. In the AFC West, Kansas City is fighting for its playoff life, but Kansas City has lost 4 of its last 6. A major reason sensational rookie running back Joe Delaney has to rebound for this 36-yard performance in the loss to Denver last week. So it's on the line for both Kansas City and Miami at Arrowhead this afternoon. In Missouri, temperature at 41 degrees at game time. A nippy day here in Kansas City as these two clubs meet for the 10th time in regular season play. A game of great significance for both teams. Simple formula for Miami. If they beat Kansas City, the Dolphins are in the playoffs. A victory today and next Sunday over Buffalo would make them the AFC East champions. If Kansas City wins, no playoff guarantees. Their status depends on several other clubs make out today and next week, and what Kansas City does next week against Minnesota.
This game is rather significant. In the pregame show, they were talking about 10 years ago on Christmas Day, the longest game in the history of the National Football League. Also, that was the old stadium, but in this new stadium in 1972, the game that opened it up was Kansas City, Miami.
And the fans on their feet as you look at number 88, Carlos Carson, awaiting from the kick from Hoover Von Sherman. Kansas City winning the toss. They will receive. Carson was just reactivated yesterday after breaking his leg earlier in the season. This is Carson. Carson at his return brings across the 20-yard line. Bill Barnett leading the Miami assault. And the Kansas City Chiefs now go to the offense with Steve Fuller. In his third year out of Clemson, the running backs Joe Delano and James Hadnot. The receivers Stan Rome, J.T. Smith, the tight end Al Dixon coming off a big game against Denver. And a look at that offensive line. Jack Rudley, one-time teammate of Buddy Dawson.
He was playing in that 1971 game. And so his number 66 father, Brad Buddy, is a left guard. His father, Ed Buddy, played in that ball game.
First and 10 at the 21. Stan Rome stopped by Gerald Small out of the 25-yard line. And Kansas City going up against this Miami defensive unit. Up front, Doug Betters, Tom Hauer, and Vern Denherter. A look at the linebackers. A.J. Dewey, of course, will shuffle to that front line. The cornermen, Don McNeil, Gerald Small. The deep end, the Blackwoods, Glenn and Lyle. Second down and 6 for Kansas City. Joe Delaney, who, as we mentioned a moment ago, looking to rebound from that 36-yard performance last week against Denver. Denherter and Blackwood combining on the tackle.
Kansas City Chiefs have an outstanding rushing game. They are number 1 in the National Football League, but I think if they're going to have success against Miami, they're going to have to put that football in the air. One man that I know that I believe that they feel they can work on is number 48, Gerald Small, the right cornerback. And they started the game out testing him because they threw the quick out pass to Stan Rome. It was successful.
Chiefs with a 3rd and 1. The tight end Ed Beckman comes on for a double tight end. And this is Billy Jackson, the short yardage specialist, collecting the first down. Ernie Roan, the inside linebacker on the left, and on the stop. The The KC Chiefs coming off the loss to Denver last Sunday to knock the Chiefs out of first place. They've lost 4 of the last 6. At one point, they were 6 up and 2 down, but since then, they lost by 2 to San Diego, lost to Chicago in overtime, beat Houston and Seattle, and then the losses to Detroit and Denver.
They are the type of team that they get behind. It's very difficult with that running game to catch up in a hurry.
First down at the 32. Misdirection for Hadnot. Bob Baumhauer making the stop out of the 34-yard line. So a short pickup for James Hadnot, the second-year pro out of Texas Tech.
His primary responsibility, Marv, is going to be blocking for Joe Delaney, and he's been doing an outstanding job. That's one of the reasons that Delaney has gained over 1,000 yards in his rookie season. So wherever Hadnot goes, generally, Delaney is right behind.
Hadnot picked up 3, 2nd and 7 for Kansas City. We're early first quarter, no score. Delaney nearly broke loose, tripped up by Larry Gordon. And a good block by number 65, Tom Condon.
Taking a look at the replay, it's a sweep. You've got the tackle pulling, the guard pulling, everybody's going. Number 65 is Tom Condon, and does get the block, but just an arm got into Joe Delaney and tripped him up. Otherwise, he would have had a big gain. Now we're coming up to the second short yardage situation for the Kansas City Chiefs, and they keep the 2 wide receivers in the ball game, which is a little different. Generally, they bring Ed Beckman, a third tight end, to the ball game.
Stan Rome is left, J.T. Smith right, and Fuller over the middle. He's got the tight end Dixon, first down at midfield. Larry Gordon of Miami tackling Al Dixon.
You mentioned that last week. Al Dixon, the tight end, number 84, had an outstanding game. That time it was a delay pass by the tight end. He let the linebackers get depth and just snuck in behind the line of scrimmage, and it's a very easy pass for number 4, Steve Fuller, the quarterback. As you can see, he is wide open right over the middle of that line of scrimmage. And all they were looking for on that play was enough to get a first down, and they got it.
And Dixon picked up 11. Al Dixon surprisingly emerging as a starter during preseason and has played very well. First down at the Miami 49. And again complete to Stan Rome, but a very short pickup. Gerald Small, the right corner, was right there.
One of the things I believe they're trying to do is get Small's attention. They've thrown 2 short passes in front of him. They're hoping that eventually he may come up and take the bite, and that's when hopefully they call it right up for the Kansas City Chiefs, is to pump and then go deep. Here is a very important ball game in that Central Division. Cincinnati-Pittsburgh tied in the second quarter, 3-3.
Cincinnati at 10-4, Pittsburgh at 8-6. And look at Green Bay in front of New Orleans. Green Bay stood alive for a wild card spot at 7 up and 7 down. 2nd and 6 for Kansas City. And the swing for Delaney. Near the first down marker, hit by A.J. Dewey.
Very simple type of offense for Kansas City. What they want to do is get the football to number 37, and that is Delaney. 77 is A.J. Dewey, who plays several positions. Now he reads the screen, and that's what it is. He's coming up. He has to make the tackle, but not before he makes good yardage. They're coming up with their 3rd short yardage situation. They've got about a yard to go.
It is a 3rd and 1, and Steve Fuller has opened up 4 out of 4 for 25 yards. People had questioned Fuller's arm coming into this season. He comes off his first start of the year. Look out.
Baumhauer is pointing over there saying, somebody drew me offside, but we're going to have to wait and see exactly what happened. The final decision is going to be that of man in the striped suit. Ed Beckman coming off the field. He said it's Miami. As you can see, 73. Bob Baumhauer wanted to get a good jump.
Yes.
But he should wait till the ball is moved.
And we'll hear the official word from the referee, Pat Haggerty.
Encroachment, 73. Defense, first down.
And as you see, Miami is the least penalized team in the National Football League going into today's play, but a fellow by the name of John Giesler had a problem last week, a game that you telecast.
Yes, he had 4 holding penalties. As a matter of fact, Miami has been the least penalized team the last 6 years in a row in the National Football League.
First down at the 35-yard line, Delaney.
Ball is popped loose.
Dolphins take over to stop this Kansas City drive.
He made a mistake of changing his mind on what to do. He was going to go inside right here. He changed his mind, goes outside. He should have stayed to the inside. The ball is just popped loose. He did not have a firm grip on that football.
A.J. Dewey covering up along with Don McNeil. And when we resume following the timeout, Miami takes over.
There's only one way to buy a Japanese import and get cash back. Come to Chrysler, not Datsun, not Toyota, not Honda. Get $500 back on a new 81 Mitsubishi-built Colt or Champ. On a new 82, get $300 back. Get $500 back on a new 81 Challenger or Sapporo. On a new 82, get $300 back. Get $500 back on any new 81 or 82 Ram 50 or Arrow pickup. Get up to $500 back on Mitsubishi imports at participating Dodge and Plymouth dealers. Not Datsun, not Toyota, not Honda, only Chrysler.
Ah, good choice. The beer with the taste for food. Natural Light from Anheuser-Busch. Not too filling, but oh so satisfying. When you're ready, really ready to eat.
What's more natural than Natural Light?
Next Saturday, it's a battle for supremacy in the AFC East as the NFL season goes into its final weekend. Don't miss it when Joe Ferguson leads the Buffalo Bills against Don Shula's Miami Dolphins. Playoff berths are still open. Buffalo versus Miami next Saturday.
Number 55, Ernie Roan, was credited with the fumble recovery, but the problem with Joe Delaney that he has had all year long is that, coughing up the football. A lot of times when you see runners who run recklessly, they do fumble a lot.
Miami takes over first down at the 38-yard line. Here's Tony Nathan. Across the 40. Tony Nathan, the 3-year pro out of Alabama, who leads the National Football League in rushing average 5.5 yards per carry. That is impressive. Nathan in the backfield with Andre Franklin, the rookie from Nebraska, David Woodley. At quarterback, the receivers, Jimmy Cephalo, Matt Moore, and the tight end is Ronnie Lee. And look at that offensive line set up by Dwight Stevenson. John Giesler coming off the 4-penalty day against New England. 2nd and 7. Andre Franklin. A power move across the 45. The right inside linebacker, Gary Smaney, along with left defensive end, Art Still on the tackle. Up front, Still, Kramer, and Bell for the Kansas City Chiefs. A look at the linebackers, Paul Platt and Spaney. Charles Jackson reclaiming his starting job from Cal Peterson. In the corners, Gary Green, Eric Harris, and the rookie Lloyd Forrest combining with Gary Barbaro as the deep man. It's a 3rd down and 1 for Miami at the 47. We're no score early first quarter. Nathan. Close to the first down marker, Art Still covering up.
I think Art Still was displaying the ability that he has. They pitched that ball out, and big number 67 has the quickness and the ability to jump out there and catch that running back. He did pick up the first down, but I think it did display the ability of Art Still and why he was All-Pro a year ago. Number 24, Gary Green, is coming up and forcing it inside. 67 Still making the tackle.
Art Still, All-Pro status a year ago. 14.5 sacks on the season. It's a first down at the 49-yard line. And Woodley to put it up for the first time. Intended. Yes, for Tony Nathan.
Bad spot. You can see what Woodley is looking at now. Where do you want me to throw it? It did hit Tony Nathan right in the hands, and he is an outstanding pass receiver for the Miami Dolphins.
David Woodley went all the way last week after the benching 2 weeks ago in that Monday night game against Philadelphia. He has been hearing it from the fans at the Orange Bowl. In fact, they were asking for his removal in the 3rd quarter last week.
He keeps saying that that really doesn't bother him. I know he made the statement. He said that they're nothing compared to the LSU fans. Yes. Really know how to boo, but I wonder what's going on inside. No one likes to be booed, particularly by your hometown fans.
2nd and 10. Tony Nathan. And and reaching out to the 46-yard line in Kansas City territory. Darren Cherry in as the extra defensive back, making the stop.
Nathan's having an outstanding year. Now, he's averaging 5.5 yards per carry. And you can see the hole is there, and you can see he's running with his head up, looking at the defensive men and making the cuts that are necessary to pick up yardage. That time he picked up about 5 or 6 yards. 6 yards.
For his efforts last week, Tony Nathan received the game ball from his teammates. 3rd down and 4. Woodley floating it out, nearly picked off. Lloyd Burris, the rookie out of Maryland, had a shot as he stepped in front of Matt Moore.
He took a chance on that pass because he was throwing it in an area where they had a defensive man in front and a defensive man behind the receiver, and it had to be perfectly thrown even at that. Don't know whether he could have completed the ball. Fortunate that the ball was not intercepted by Kansas City.
He threw a floater, and as a result, a punting situation for Tom Orrs, the rookie out of Ohio State. J.T. Smith awaits the punt. He's been averaging 10.5 per punt return, 4th in the AFC. But Smith, after trying to fake the Dolphins, makes his move. Steve Potter making the tackle for Miami. Little decoy move by J.T. So the Kansas City Chiefs will take over. 7:23 remaining, 1st quarter, and we have no score.
Radio Shack makes Christmas dreams come true.
Oh, I love the frogs.
Cuddly animals with a radio inside. Maybe Santa will bring it. Dependable portable radios. A Pekingese and raccoon. A frog and a lovable floppy dog. And a cuddly cat or a cute brown spaniel. Furry friends in a musical menagerie that'll delight your kids or teens alike.
Daddy, Santa brought my frogs from Radio Shack.
Only at Radio Shack, your Christmas electronics store.
Has national sports zone. Call for the latest report. Oh, we're talking national sports. We got it all. 900. What a wonderful call. 900-976-1313. 900.
50 cents a call. You can know all the scores.
Dial it. We're talking to you.
Monday, a special look back at a Bing Crosby Christmas like the ones we used to know.
Just hear those sleigh bells jingling, the ring, ting, tingling.
Monday.
Kansas City head coach Marv Levy in his 4th year as head man of the Chiefs. He's taken Kansas City from 4-12 to 7-9 to 8-8. Now 8 up, 6 down. You saw that big score up on the board. Looked to be a loose football.
Steve Fuller never had possession of the football. They ought to be happy if they get it back, and I believe the Kansas City Chiefs did get it back. It fell right at his feet, and he was able to recover it, but the exchange between the center, Jack Rudney, and the quarterback, Steve Fuller, that wasn't it.
Right tackle Charlie Getty is shaken up, and the Kansas City medical staff out to take a look. 7:06 left in this first quarter, and we'll be right back.
What's more natural than spicy hot food and icy cold beer? What's more natural than Natural Light from Anheuser-Busch? It's the beer with a taste for food. So, when you want to put out the fire,
What's more natural than Natural Light?
What's a nice new personal car doing out here?
This is the new Dodge 400. The cockpit says personal luxury, but here's the difference. Front-wheel drive, rack and pinion steering, McPherson struts, electronically controlled engine, and another extraordinary difference, extraordinary mileage. Dodge 400 is no ordinary personal luxury car.
It's a personal driving machine.
I want a driving machine.
Dodge 400, America's personal driving machine.
As we take a look at Charlie Getty, the offensive tackle of the Kansas City Chiefs, being administered to on the sideline, we're going to be be checking some scores of some very important games going around the National Football League. San Diego now on top of Tampa Bay, 14-7, second quarter.
Joe Delaney. That's his fourth carry.
And
stopped by A.J. Dewey.
Central Division, Cincinnati is ahead of Pittsburgh now, 10-3, second quarter.
Charlie Getty, who was injured a moment ago, replaced by Roger Taylor, a rookie out of Oklahoma State. Delaney picking up 4. It is a 3rd down and 6. And it appears that they are checking out the knee of Charlie Getty. Here's a look at Getty, the 8-year man out of Penn State. Fuller with much time and able to complete to Delaney, who was looking to pick up the first down. We'll have to see where that ball is spotted. Gerald Small, Mike Kozlowski combined on the stop, but a penalty marker is down.
Generally, that means some holding going on in that offensive line. Maybe that's the reason Steve Fuller had so much time to throw the football. He did make a good throw to Joe Delaney, and Delaney was nailed by number 40, Mike Kozlowski.
So we'll wait for the call from Pat Haggerty. The umpire today is Dave Moss, the head linesman Terry Gerke, the line judge Walt Peters, back judge Jim Poole, the side judge Dick Creed, and the field judge Bob Lewis. And it is obviously against the Kansas City Chiefs.
Holding number 66, offense.
It is Brad Buddy, the left guard, called for the hold.
Well, I know his father never taught him that. At least not to get caught.
It is a 3rd and 16. Miami with the extra defensive backs, Kozlowski and Pesalo in. Kansas City is 3 of 3 in 3rd down conversions. Delaney, nowhere to go. Number 75, Doug Bitters, taking the stop, and the Chiefs are now hearing it from the crowd.
Well, what the Chiefs did not want to happen is to throw that ball up for grabs and have it intercepted down near their goal line and give an opportunity to Miami to get an easy touchdown. And you might have noticed, too, that Joe Delaney, that was the same type of play that he fumbled on. But that time when he was about to get hit, he wrapped both arms around that football.
So Jeff Gossett will punt from deep in his end zone. He comes off his best day of the season against Denver. And that's Tom Vigorito, the rookie out of Virginia. The up man is Fulton Walker.
I think it looks like they're, unless Miami commits some sort of penalty, they should get excellent field position.
Yes, they will. Vigorito at his 40. And Vigorito brings to the 37-yard line, led by Bill Tansick. A 37-yard punt, 4-yard return. And the Miami Dolphins will take over with just under 5 remaining in this scoreless first quarter.
Once-in-a-lifetime play. But I've got an instant replay forever on my RCA convertible video recorder. It's really 2 VCRs in one. It records my TV favorites, and it converts to a portable home movie outfit. So I can record Moose's big plays, too. The RCA convertible. 2 VCRs are better than one.
No one gives you more VCR than RCA. After a night below freezing, after 3 hours with the lights on, after all these years, people still have more confidence in Sears Die-Hard than any other battery in America. And for the same kind of confidence, Sears will install the Muzzler Muffler for $24.99 within 60 minutes of your authorization. 1 hour, or the muzzler labor is free. At Sears Tire and Auto Centers, we install confidence. You can count on Sears.
New Year's night, don't miss the battle for the national championship in the Orange Bowl, when the nation's Cinderella #1 team, the undefeated Tigers of Clemson University, take on the explosive offense of the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Happy New Year from NBC Sports.
Back at Arrowhead with Miami with the football, and we've got not only this game important, but we've got a lot of games of importance. This one particularly, Cincinnati leading Pittsburgh at the halftime 10-3.
Taking over first down at the Kansas City 38-yard line. That's Nat Moore in motion. And David Woodley swings it. Intended for Tony Nathan. Good pursuit by the right defensive end, number 99, Mike Bell.
That time he threw that ball a little too hard. That's a finesse type of pass. You don't have to throw that hard. But somebody's throwing the ball very well. His name is Lynn Dickey. He's thrown 3 touchdown passes. Green Bay leads New Orleans at halftime, 21-0. Buffalo now in front of New England, 17-7, second quarter. And the Giants up on top of St. Louis. Both of these teams still have an opportunity for a playoff berth. San Diego in front of Tampa Bay at half, 14-7.
And right here at Arrowhead, we have no score. That's a game with no meaning, one of the rare meaningless games this afternoon. Up for Franklin to the 35. Mike Bell there to make the stop. Here we are scoreless with 4:45 remaining in this first quarter.
And they're keeping the ball on the ground, but without a great deal of success. See here, Franklin's coming up, and there really isn't much there. The defense with Mike Bell, number 99, coming from his defensive end position, closing down and making that tackle near the line of scrimmage.
There's Mike Bell in his second year out of Colorado State. He's had himself an injury-plagued career, but he's had a solid season here at 81. 3rd down and 7. And Woodley is 0 for 3 to this point. The tight end, Joe Rose, who killed the Chiefs in preseason, as he was able to exploit several of the Kansas City linebackers. That time he was chased down by Whitney Paul.
And he did an excellent job. He was going across the middle, stopped, and went in the direction that he had come from. There it is right there. You see to the top left of your screen. He was going across, making that linebacker think that he was going to go all the way across. All of a sudden, he puts on the brakes, takes off in the opposite direction. He had a step or so on Whitney Paul. The pass was there. They have a first down.
And you look at the balance from the tight ends, Ronnie Lee, Bruce Hardy, and Joe Rose. 15-yard pass play between Woodley and Rose. First down at the Kansas City 21. And again, Woodley complete. This time, Vigorito. Tom Vigorito, a second-round pick. Make that a 5th-round pick. The rookie out of Virginia, stopped by Whitney Paul.
He pumped the ball. Woodley did pump the ball once, and that may have given the receiver an opportunity right there, the short pump. Then he fires it out to Figueredo, who's wide open. Linebacker is going back, but was not involved in the play. Dario Harris, the leading pass receiver for Miami this year, did not play last week, but he wants the football.
Yes.
They all want the football. But that ball probably was released, and the defensive back let him go. But Dario Harris went back to the huddle and said, hey, I was wide open on that play.
The 11-yard pickup, 1st and goal.
Unusual play. The tight end was in motion, but he was actually trapping on the play. Number 84, as you see, getting up off the pile, is Bruce Hardy. He was in motion, and they snapped the ball just as he was near the quarterback. He got involved in a trap block.
And it sets up a 2nd and goal at the 5-yard line. 2 minutes, 50 seconds remaining in this first quarter. A game of great significance in terms of playoff hopes for both Miami and Kansas City. For the score. A hard driving move by Nathan, led by the left tackle John Giesler. And the Dolphins take a 6-0 lead.
Marv, on that play, the offensive line of the Miami Dolphins just moved the Chiefs defense out of there because they just caved them in all up in the middle. As you can see that the defensive men of the Kansas City Chiefs are all the way back in the end zone, and that's 5 yards deep. So that offensive line of Miami did the job, getting Tony Nathan his 5th touchdown on the ground this year.
And that makes 8 touchdowns in all for Nathan. Von Schaman with Strock holding. So Uwe von Schaman, 35 for 36 in the placement department, and the Dolphins lead the Chiefs by the score of 7.
Hi, I'm Don Besselou of the Miami Dolphins. I grew up on a military base for 22 years. I know how important it is to these kids to have youth recreation.
Don Besselou has seen the work of youth agencies that help build strong foundations for young people. He knows that through the Red Cross and the USO, United Way is helping the men and women of our armed services. Dependent Youth Association provides programs for military personnel and their families. One thing that Don likes about United Way is that when you give, you know it's helping all kinds of people. There are thousands of United Way agencies across the country which provide recreation and character-building programs and services. Solid agencies helping to build solid futures for our leaders of tomorrow.
You know, through United Way agencies, we're building a lot of foundations for young people, thanks to you. It works for all of us, the United Way.
The preceding announcement was furnished as a public service by the National Football League. Tony Nathan, who scored his 8th touchdown of the season, is 5th on the ground, providing Miami with the 7-0 lead as Von Schaman gets set to kick off to Carlos Carson.
And for Kansas City, playing catch-up football is not their style of play. Like to establish that running game.
And Carson takes in the end zone, and he'll have to stay right there. Kansas City Chiefs will be 1st and 10 from their 20-yard line. A look at the AFC East. The Jets beating Cleveland on NBC here yesterday afternoon. Buffalo in front in their game.
You know, the one way over to the right, that tie, is really of significance in the AFC, particularly for a team like the Kansas City Chiefs, because it's like a half a win for both Miami and the New York Jets.
And a Miami win today would clinch a wild card playoff spot. A win today and next week against Buffalo would clinch first place in the AFC East. Joe Delaney, first down and more. He coughed it up, but let's see if it was whistled dead.
No, the official's going to say that it was a dead ball, and the ball popped loose when he hit the ground.
Delaney did fumble earlier this first quarter. Colton Walker on the stop, a 16-yard run by Delaney.
And Chief is down. Is that Joe Delaney? Yes, it is. Joe Delaney is on the ground. He has been hampered in several ball games this year with injuries. And I think you can see why with the explosiveness that this young man has. When he hit that hole, there was a little gap there, and all of a sudden he was 10 yards downfield. Here it is, number 37, Joe Delaney. Matt Herkenoff, number 60, a good block, and he's in the clear right now. Now he's just taken off, and he gets nailed by 2 of the Miami Dolphins. The ball pops loose. Joe Delaney is still down.
It has been a super rookie season for this 23-year-old out of Northwest Louisiana. His size and durability was a question, but he has turned out to be very durable. He was the 41st player selected, a second-round draft pick. I know people here in Kansas City with the ball club thought he would do all right. They did not expect Delaney to do as well as he has.
Well, had anybody expected, he would have been a #1 draft choice. I think that shows the Kansas City Chiefs scouting department what a great job that they've done in the draft, particularly this year.
He erased Mike Garrett's record of 1,087 yards set back in 1967, and Delaney did it in 14 games, the same number Garrett played, so no asterisk is required in that Kansas City record book.
I think when you compare anybody to Mike Garrett, you're comparing a running back to an outstanding player. And this young man is just in his first year right now, and he's still making a lot of mistakes. And one thing he's going to have to learn is how to protect his body, because you just can't fling your body at the defensive players down there and expect not to get hurt.
This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League, intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Kansas City Chiefs and the National Football League is prohibited. This will give you a pretty good idea of why, if Delaney is seriously injured, the Chiefs would be hard hit.
He is their offense, or much of the offense, although when they bring in Jackson, who the Chiefs, I think, feel perhaps is the best draft choice that they made this past year. He's already scored 11 touchdowns. He's the man that they like to use in short yardage situations. But at least Joe Delaney is walking off the field, and that is encouraging. But he takes a pounding out there, and he knows it. But he says, I've done it before. You know, I'll be back next week.
Well, Marv Levy even had thoughts of using Delaney on kickoff returns, but has feared the durability factor, although he said if the Chiefs make it to the playoffs, he would consider that. But we'll have to see how Delaney's status is as we resume 1st and 10, 37-yard line, and Fuller with a sliding move covered up by Brzezinski and Dewey.
That's a dimension that Steve Fuller gives to the Kansas City Chiefs, because he was almost nailed back there for about a 7 or 8 yard loss, and he turned it in to a 4-yard gain.
Steve Fuller being encouraged not to run as frequently as he would like.
Well, you noticed that once he got as far as he thought that he could go, he developed that hook slide, or whatever it's called, the quarterbacks are doing today.
It is a 2nd and 6. And Fuller goes sideline. He has the first down with the tight end Al Dixon, run out by Bob Brzezinski.
That was a good throw by Fuller. Delaney, as you can see, they're working on him on the sidelines. They may have a companion for him, because on that last play, their center, Jack Rudney, got up very, very slowly. I know he's been bothered with a neck or a shoulder injury. And
then we're told that Delaney took a helmet in the back on his last carry, so he is shaken up. 11-yard pickup on the pass for Al Dixon. So Fuller is now 5 for 5, 36 yards, first down at the Miami 47. Make it 6 out of 6. J.T. Smith on the reception, stopped by the inside linebacker on the left, Ernie Roan, number 55.
This game, you can see already for the Kansas City Chiefs, several players have been banged around. You remember Charlie Getty left a short while ago, but he is back in number 77, the right tackle. Pass blocking. This is a quick pass, so he is breaking the initial charge of Betters. He's getting some help from Tom Condon, but Charlie Getty has returned to the lineup for the Kansas City Chiefs, so at least that's one good note.
35 seconds left, first quarter. 2nd down and 4. This is Billy Jackson. And Jackson has picked up the first down. We're told that Don McNeil, Miami's starting left cornerback, was injured, and he has been taken to the locker room for x-rays. So it's been a physical first quarter. McNeil replaced by Fulton Walker at left corner.
This is a very important game for everybody, including that man right there, Don Shula, who's considered by many as the outstanding coach in the National Football League today. He's got a tremendous record.
And the first quarter has come to a conclusion here at Arrowhead in Kansas City. The score, the Dolphins 7 and the Chiefs nothing.
It's the magic time of year when love's a warming flame. Though we celebrate in many ways, the feeling's still the same. We're America's storyteller, celebrating life with you. Picturing the stories of everything you do.
For over 100 years, people have trusted their memories to Kodak Film, America's storyteller.
Food, clothes, just about everything seems to cost more today. One reason young families think they can't afford life insurance.
Allstate update, lower life insurance rates.
Now, Allstate's cut prices up to 20% on a lot of their life insurance. Like this $100,000 level term policy that now only costs a 28-year-old father about $19 a month. Before you buy, come in and compare. For life, home, or auto, you're in good hands with Allstate.
Over the years, us guys in Light Beer from Miller have had a lot of laughs. But this time we'd like to share some personal sentiments. Boo?
Have a very Merry Christmas.
Yeah, and a Happy New Year, too.
Yeah. And this holiday, may there be bass under all your lily pads. May all your pockets be full.
Feliz Navidad. Peace.
We wish you everything you always wanted in a Christmas.
And more.
You know, I'm glad they asked me to do this commercial. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Len, it's incredible how I always receive these standing ovations when I'm with you in Kansas City.
That wasn't always the case with me. Joe Delaney is up now. Wayne Rudy, the trainer, and Dr. Albert Miller, team physician, attended to.
It is a 3rd and 1, so the first down was not picked up a moment ago. James Hadnot, the ball carrier. That swarming Miami defense all over Hadnot. Steve Fuller obviously feels he picked it up.
Got a score. Cincinnati 3rd quarter, still leading Pittsburgh. 10-3 is that score. George Rogers scored a touchdown for New Orleans, but they're still behind the pack, 21-7 in the 3rd quarter. Buffalo at halftime leading New England 17-7. And the Giants still ahead of the Cardinals 10-3. That's at halftime. 3rd quarter score. Game that's very important for the Chiefs. San Diego leading Tampa Bay 14-7. And Baltimore's, do they ever have their problem? 28-7 at halftime.
They are inches away from picking up the first down. Philadelphia and Dallas no score in the 1st quarter. So the Kansas City Chiefs 4th and inches. As we open up in the 2nd quarter, Marv Albert, Lenny Dawson from Kansas City. Dolphins lead it by the score of 7-0. 5-yard touchdown run by Tony Nathan. And a first down picked up by Billy Jackson.
Oh, he was going to get it that time. He flew through the air, really with a lot of velocity. And now it showed, I think, on 4th down. They had to go for that 4th down situation because we've been talking about the importance of this football game for both teams, particularly the Kansas City Chiefs. They have to win today, and they have to win next week against Minnesota to have any hopes, I think, for the playoffs. Realistically, that's the way it is. They've got to win.
Kansas City first down at the Miami 34-yard line. Hadnot and Jackson are the running backs. This is Jackson. And he's hit for a loss by Doug Betters. Betters, Baumhauer, and Dan Herter up front. Radzinski, Roan, Dewey, and Gordon, the linebackers. Of course, Dewey does a lot of shuffling up front. Fulton Walker replacing the injured Don McNeil at left corner. Gerald Small on the right side. And Glenn and Lyle Blackwood are the deep men.
I would look for Kansas City to start throwing the football for one instance. Fulton Walker, 41, is the backup player, and they feel that they can work on 48 Small. So here he goes.
All right, 2nd and 11. And Fuller looking to run out of trouble, and does. Steve Fuller, first down, much more inside the 10. He was hit by Walker, who submarined him down.
And on that play, number 86, J.T. Smith, came back, peeled back, and gave a tremendous block for Steve Fuller. Fuller was ready to get out of bounds, but he hit number 47, Glenn Blackwood. Here he is. He's got blocking up front, Rudney, Condon, and Getty pumps. Now he's going to take off. He sees the opening. Now he's looking for that yard marker to get out of 86. Watch his block right there. Tremendous block. He was going to jump out of bounds, but there was nobody to tackle him, so he picks up additional yardage.
Crowd here at Arrowhead responding to the replay on the message board. 25-yard run by Fuller. It's a 1st and goal at the 8. Jackson inside the 5 and then thrown back. Ernie Roan making the stop.
Number 77, A.J. Dewey, blitzed through there and just missed the ball carrier. The ball carrier got by him, but had A.J. Dewey had his sights zeroed in correctly, he would have nailed it for about a 3 or 4 yard loss. Dewey adds a lot of dimensions to that defensive unit for the Miami Dolphins because he can play so many positions. He's got the strength and the quickness to play the defensive line and the quickness and the speed to play linebacker.
2nd and goal at the 4. Hadnot picking his way, gets to the 3. James Hadnot, who took over as a starter the last 5 games last season and played well, stopped by number 73, Bob Baumhauer, and 77, A.J. Dewey.
2 more tight ends coming into the ball game. They're looking at their short yardage situation. I wonder if they're thinking right now that we have 2 downs to get into the end zone because they're 7 points down. They want to come away with some points. It's early in this football game. They're on the 2-yard line.
Kansas City, the number 1 rushing team in the AFC, looking to bring it home. That's Beckman in motion.
Wide open.
Touchdown. Al Dixon. As Steve Fuller makes it 7 out of 7.
Play action pass. He had his tight end, number 84, Al Dixon, all by himself in the end zone. Somebody in that secondary had to blow a coverage assignment. Taking a look at it right here. Beckman in motion one way. He's making the ball to Hadnot. Hadnot's cleaning up, but out here all by himself, 84 Al Dixon. Now, there's no way in the world he's supposed to be out there by himself. Somebody blew the cover.
Well, it looked to be a lot of confusion by the Dolphins defensively. Looked like they had a 12th man on.
They did, and the man just made it off the field before the snap of the ball.
Lowry has tied it at 7. The Dolphins and the Chiefs are 7 apiece. We'll be right back.
On a night like this, you don't need a car. You need a driving machine. 1982 Dodge Aries K wagon with front-wheel drive for superb traction. Rack and pinion steering for quick response. Electronic fuel control to go a long way between stops when there's no place to stop. But what makes this 6-passenger driving machine truly exceptional? Price. Dodge Aries K, America's driving machine.
Get $300 to $1,000 cash on select new Dodge cars and trucks. See participating dealers for complete details.
Welcome to warm afternoons and cattle wine.
Sunny Rhine days with your friends and mine.
Special moments.
The feeling shows. A gallows toast with the Rhine that flows.
Oh, the joy of sharing gallows wine.
Will we ever have a house like this?
Share the joy of gallows wine.
Next Saturday, be courtside with Dick Enberg and Al McGuire when Pauley Pavilion goes wild. Coach Ray Meyer's DePaul Blue Demons battle the powerful Bruins from UCLA, right here on the home of great college basketball, NBC Sports.
And there is war paint, part of the tradition here in Kansas City when the Chiefs put up some points on the board.
Remember, we played the Bears one exhibition game. We put 66 points on the board, and Butkus says, what are you trying to do? Kill that horse?
Well, the 25-yard run by Steve Fuller setting up the Kansas City touchdown. This is Fulton Walker. And a good return by Walker across the 30-yard line. Penalty marker thrown down. Deron Cherry, a backup safety man, making the stop as you look at that Kansas City drive that consumed 5 minutes, 29 seconds, 80 yards. 12 plays, capped off by the 2-yard pass to the tight end, Al Dixon.
You know, an 80-yard drive is kind of unusual in the National Football League today. Staying drive.
What did Pat Haggerty say? Was that flag erroneously thrown? Obviously, that was it. So the play stands on the return by Walker. Miami first down at their 31-yard line. David Woodley is 2 or 5 for 26 yards. There is the feeling that he could get the quick hook if the Dolphins don't come alive in the first half, because Don Sprock has worked quite a bit during the course of the week with the first team. And Woodley going deep, overthrown, intended for Tom Vigorito. Step for step, the left cornerback Gary Clean alongside Vigorito.
What they did that time is they had Vigorito split out wide. They had Nat Moore and Dario Harris on the other side, spreading out the defense. Now Tampa Bay has now kicked the field goal in the third quarter, but San Diego still leads by the score of 14-10. Trying to go up top, trying to get 6 in a hurry. Gary Green was there.
One for Franklin, Tony Nathan. The running backs, David Woodley, who has completed 53% of his passes, thrown for 11 touchdowns, intercepted 12 times. Second back coming through, Nathan. Across the 35, Art Still, the left defensive end, was right there.
He was there along with Gary Spaney, and Spaney is number 59 for the Chiefs, a linebacker. He's generally around the ball. He's been the leading tackler of that football team, I think, since he's arrived there. He's been involved in 132 tackles so far. They're expecting pass. They're taking him out.
5-yard pickup, third down and 5. Kansas City with a front 4 now. Still, Parrott, Kramer, and Bell. Big rush. beautiful catch by the tight end, Joe Rose, but short of a first down. Whitney Paul, the outside linebacker, was right there. Rose did well just to get to the football.
Yes, he did. And there's one of the reasons why you see a four-man front in a passing situation, because you can put some heat on that quarterback. Woodley was running for his life, and he did a good job, really, of getting rid of the football and not taking a loss.
There's Tom Orris, the rookie out of Ohio State, and J.T. Smith awaiting the punt back at his 30-yard line.
The last time J.T. Smith fielded the ball and had a little lane. Look at that. He's taking his time. There's no rush.
And Orris looking to take advantage. He's got the first down and more.
Good play by that punter. Tom Orris, number 3. He took a look. No one was rushing him. Absolutely nobody. If somebody would have come, he would have eventually punted the ball. He saw the opening there and took it. Reminds me of a man by the name of Seipel that used to play with Miami, that used to do that to us a lot of times. Here it is. Pretty good speed, but he's smart enough to get what he can get and then get out of bounds. But the important thing for Miami, they maintain the football.
Tom Orris goes 6'1", 204 pounds, but still wisely took it out of bounds after he picked up the first down. He's got it out at midfield, and Miami, with perhaps a big turnaround play. That's the first time that the rookie has ever run.
If he hadn't made it, it probably would have been the last time, too.
And Woodley on the roll. Incomplete, intended for Nat Moore. Lloyd Morris, the strong safety, covering on the play.
That time, Woodley rolling out to his right, never got an opportunity to get his feet planted so that he could step toward his target. He was going toward the sideline and throwing the ball across his body. And it's a good thing he didn't hang it up, because it could have been intercepted. There's number 53, Whitney Paul, getting up in the air. The Chiefs looking once again for a passing situation. They're taking their linebackers out, putting in additional defensive backs.
Herb Christopher, Deron Cherry come on, so 6 defensive backs for Kansas City for the 2nd and 10 at midfield. That's Moore in motion. Tony Nathan could not get outside. He was really popped by Gary Green, number 24, to slow him down.
Yes, he was, and I was looking to see what Gary Green had a hold of, because a lot of times when you get somebody to turn him around like that, you have a hold of the face mask, but I don't see any flags, so it's going to be 3rd and 10 yards once again for the Miami Dolphins.
And it has been a penalty-free first half to this point. Miami, as we mentioned earlier, the least penalized team in the NFL.
Kansas City was penalized once when Delaney caught a pass. There he is. Delaney is up and about, and I'm sure that he'll be back in the ball game. They got to get the ball first.
Tony Nathan near the first down marker. Deron Cherry, free safety, making the stop.
Oh, he is just a little bit short. I think he needs about 6 inches, if that's marked correctly. The games that are being played by the defensive line, they got 4 men coming after him. He gets the ball out to Nathan, who's an outstanding all-purpose back for the Miami Dolphins. But he's rolled out of bounds about 6, I think it's about 6 inches short of the first down.
We will call it 4th and inches. 8:45 left in this first half. And the lights are on here at Arrowhead in Kansas City. Marv Albert and Len Dawson bringing you a most significant ball game for both the Chiefs and the Dolphins. And Woodley, thirdly. And it will be very close. The Chiefs say, no, we stopped it.
Well, I don't know. It didn't look like he had his momentum over the first down marker. But he did seem to come back in a hurry, didn't he? They're going to measure it. I always question that type of call, because you can't get any momentum as a quarterback. You got to leap straight up and to get forward. If you don't get that block by the offensive center, if there's penetration right there, it's really difficult. But he got enough to get the first down.
Lindsey, you would not call that particular play for yourself?
No, I wouldn't, because you take a look right here. Now, how much momentum can you have by leaping forward as opposed to giving the ball to a fullback who has a 4-yard run that is able to leap over? Bear in mind, remember Jackson of Kansas City, Billy Jackson, hurtled through the air and picked up the first down easily.
I was alluding to the fact that as a player, you might have wanted to protect your body.
That does cross your mind.
First down and 10 at the 39 for Miami.
Play pass.
Beautiful reception. Eddie Hill, one of the Dolphin heroes of last week's victory over New England, coming out of the backfield and finally stopped by Jerry Blanton. A 14-yard pass play from Woodley to Hill and a first down for Miami at the Kansas City 25-yard line.
I think the fans saw the run of Eddie Hill last week against New England, where he was really popped near the goal line and spun away somehow, maintained his balance, got in for the go-ahead touchdown for Miami. Came up with another big play right there. I think the reason that play worked is because of fine ball handling by Woodley.
First down at the 25-yard line. Tony Nathan, really ripped by Gary Spaney.
He guessed right, Marv. He guessed right. He was shooting the gap, and he happened to guess right because of the play called, and he was able to get penetration, and he nailed him for a couple-of-yard loss. Here it is. You're taking a look right now. 59 Spaney was reading the blocks of the offensive lineman. He read it right. He got penetration, and he made the stop. Sometimes you guess wrong on that, and you're running back there looking at a lot of air, but that time he guessed right.
Kansas City has held Nathan in check to this point. 21 yards, 7 carries, but we are very early. Second and 11 at the 26. Loss of 1 on the play.
Blitz is on.
And Woodley is sacked. Ken Kramer, the nose tackle, leading the charge.
They were not going to give him time that time. If he was going to get rid of the football, he was going to have to do it in a hurry because they had the blitz on. They had 4 defensive linemen, also the linebackers going after the quarterback.
And the Dolphins have done very well this season in protecting the quarterback. They've gone 5 games not allowing a sack, not consecutive, but 5 games over the course of the season. Ken Kramer came up with his 7th sack of the year.
Calling a timeout.
Woodley has a 3rd down and 16 facing him at the Kansas City 31-yard line. And with the timeout, let's pause for these words.
Now there's a place where they have their own authorized mechanics, quality parts and service, and prices you can afford. Now there's K-Care, found only at Kmart.
Will your battery make it through the winter? Come in for a complimentary charging system check. If your battery needs replacing, we can install our 560 maintenance-free 5-year battery. It's powerful and sale priced at just $54.88. Our best maintenance-free battery. It never needs water. That's K-Care, only at Kmart.
What's more natural than pasta and beer? Ah, what's more natural than natural light from Anheuser-Busch? The beer with a taste for food. It's natural, and it's light. So when you want to leave room for more...
What's more natural than
Natural Light?
New Year's night, catch the primetime pageantry and excitement of the Orange Bowl as #1 ranked Clemson goes for the national championship against the Nebraska Cornhuskers. It's a classic matchup, highlighted by a spectacular halftime show. The Orange Bowl, New Year's night on NBC.
Don Shula, 19th year as head coach, the only man in NFL history to appear in 3 straight Super Bowls, and his counterpart, Marv Levy, the only NFL coach that has a master's degree in English history from Harvard. It's a 3rd and 16 for Miami at the Kansas City 31. 6 minutes left, second quarter. Miami and Kansas City tied at 7. And Woodley again on the roll.
Oh, he's got plenty of time.
And stopped way short of a first down. Right now, let's go to our studios in New York for an update. Here's Byron Day.
Thanks, Marv, very much. In the nation's capital, Joe Theismann, the Redskins, having very little trouble with the Baltimore Colts. Theismann going up top for his second touchdown pass of the day, brings the score to 35-7, Skins over the Colts. Marv?
All right, Byron, this week, Robert Irsay, the owner of the 1-13 Colts, said the team suffers from brain injuries. How about that one?
Brain injuries?
Yes. Nice, huh? Here's Von Schamann with a 39-yard attempt, struck the holder. And it is good. Uwe Von Schamann has now hit 7 of his last 8, 14 of his last 16, and the Dolphins lead the Chiefs by the score of 10-7.
Isn't it about time you turned in Old Faithful before it really starts costing you money? Why not trade it in on a new General Motors model today? GMAC Financing can help you get that new GM car or truck you've had your eye on. We've got financing available right now, and at rates that make good sense. You see, automotive financing is GMAC's only business. Ask a GM dealer about GMAC, the financing people from General Motors. Can help you get that new GM car or truck you've had your eye on. We've got financing available right now, and at rates that make good sense. You see, automotive financing is GMAC's only business. Ask a GM dealer about GMAC, the financing people from General Motors.
I'll try almost anything. So when Mattel Electronics asked me to compare their Intellivision games with Atari, I gave it a try. I compared Atari baseball with Intellivision and found Intellivision played much more like real baseball. Then I compared Atari football with Intellivision. Again, Intellivision played more like the real game. In my opinion, if you try them both, there's only one conclusion you can come to. Intellivision from Mattel Electronics.
17, New England 7. Back in Kansas City, 39-yard field goal by Uwe Von Schamann, providing the Dolphins with a 10-7 lead with 5 minutes and 6 seconds remaining in this first half. Tony Nathan taking it in from 5 yards out, and Fuller combining with the tight end Dixon to tie it at 7. Now the field goal breaks the tie, and here's the kickoff by Von Schamann. Carlos Carson. Again, he will not run it out. Good coverage by the Dolphins off the powerful kick by Von Schamann. Right here, let's pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC Television Network.
And this is South Florida's 7, WCKT Miami.
Go back there now.
Marv Albert, Len Dawson from Arrowhead in Kansas City, and the Chiefs taking over first down at their 20-yard line. Just under 5 minutes left in this first half. These two clubs meeting for the 10th time in their history during the course of the regular season. Kansas City has won 7 of the previous 9. Miami's last win over Kansas City back in 1974 by the score of 9-3 at the Orange Bowl in Miami. Billy Jackson. Delaney, who got shaken up earlier, took a helmet in his back, is still on the sidelines, and no report on whether he will be able to return as we take another look.
Billy Jackson, number 43, as I said earlier, was a real find for the Kansas City Chiefs. They felt that he was their best draft choice because of the round that they've selected him. I believe it was the 4th round. And he has, or the 8th round. 8th round they selected him. And he's already scored 11 touchdowns so far this year, and they use him primarily in short yardage situations, but he's a very explosive back.
2nd and 1 as Jackson picked up 9, now battling for the first down. Good 2nd and 3rd effort, but the Dolphins not permitting Jackson to pick it up. Bob Brzezinski, the 5-year man out of Ohio State, stacking him up.
He might not have made it, but I think you got an indication right there. Yes, he did make the first down. They're moving the yardsticks right now, but it gives you an indication what I was talking about the determination in the 2nd, 3rd effort of Billy Jackson and why they like to give him the football in short yardage situations.
Well, apparently, Brzezinski not able to resist enough. Jackson just did pick it up. First down at the 30. Off the play action. Sideline pass picked off. The interception by Lyle Blackwood, his 3rd of the season. Pass intended for Carlos Carson.
Blackwood read that play beautifully because The receiver was open on that side. He pumped it, and he was trying to hit it between the two defensive backs. Blackwood was reading it all the way, came in for the interception.
That's the third intercept of the season for Steve Fuller, and the Miami Dolphins will take over.
Think about the new individual retirement accounts. But there is a way to escape all this confusion. It's by calling or visiting your full-service bank. For professional guidance with your financial future, we've got the answers.
Can an American driving machine outdistance every Datsun on the highway? If we put a gallon of gas in every Datsun, and in the 1982 Dodge Omni Miser, one by one, every Datsun would run out. But Omni Miser would keep driving, with the best highway mileage of any 5-passenger American car, and the lowest price. At $54.99, the base model 82 Dodge Omni Miser doesn't cost $1 more this year than the end of last year. And on other select new Dodge cars and trucks, get $300 to $1,000 cash. See participating dealers for complete details.
Monday, it's a magnificent special with the Pointer Sisters, the Commodores, and Andre Crouch. The Mac Davis Christmas Special Monday.
Steve Fuller picked off by Lyle Blackwood. Fuller had gone 7 for 7 prior to the interception. So David Woodley and the Dolphins now first down at midfield. Woodley is 5 for 10 for 50 yards. This is Moore peeling off. Tony Nathan off the fake and on the reception. Out at the 45, hit out by Whitney Paul.
Got the ball to Nathan. He was looking deep. They were looking to go for 6, but the other receiver was well covered, so he just dumped the ball off to that man. Number 22, Tony Nathan. Picked up about 4 or 5 yards, which is a good play. Puts him in a 2nd and 5 situation. I think we saw a statistic that was very important, the turnover statistics. Kansas City's turned the ball over twice, Miami none.
And Miami had been having their difficulties in the takeover department as of late. They've come up with only 1 interception the last 4 games prior to today. Andre Franklin. And the ball was bobbled, but the play blown dead as Franklin gets right near the first down marker. The inside linebacker on the left side, number 57, Jerry Blanton, combining with Dave Lindstrom, right defensive end, as you see the clock. Now 3 minutes remaining in this first half. Franklin just shy of the first down. It's 3rd and 1 for Miami.
They'll bring in the big tight ends, come in and try to pick up this first down. They would love to get some more points before halftime. I know that they'd love to get a touchdown, but they'd be happy with 3 also. But they need to move the football. They need this first down right now.
Hardy has come in as the extra tight end. Here's Nathan. He's got the first down and extra yardage inside the 35. Big hole on the right side for Tony Nathan. Gary Green, the left quarterback, making the tackle.
I think maybe Tony Nathan was surprised the hole was so big, because you can take a look right now. There it is. Outstanding job of blocking by, particularly, I think, the tight end, Ron Lee, number 86. The tight end got a good block and opened up the hole for Nathan.
Tony Nathan has picked up the first down at the Kansas City 33-yard line, and we're approaching the 2-minute mark in this first half. The Dolphins 10, Chiefs 7. This is Franklin. Not able to make it on the spin. A short pickup. Mike Bell got the reps on Andre Franklin. And now we have just under 2 minutes remaining in the first half, so the warning provided. We'll be right back. The Dolphins in front, 10-7.
This Bud's for everybody who races the weather to bring in the harvest.
This Bud's for all you do. The king of beers is coming through.
Yeah, just for you. That distinctively clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
For all you do.
This Bud's for you.
I do one thing. I kick this ball through those 2 poles. Do one thing all the time. You get to be great. Like Kentucky Fried Chicken. They don't try to do everything. Just chicken, and no one else does it tender and juicy the Colonel's way.
Kentucky Fried Chicken, we do it right for you.
I do kicking right. They do chicken right.
Kentucky Fried Chicken, we do chicken right.
Saturday, it's a battle for supremacy in the AFC East as the NFL season goes into its final weekend. Don't miss it when Joe Ferguson leads the Buffalo Bills against Don Shula's Miami Dolphins. Playoff berths are still open. Buffalo versus Miami next Saturday.
Marv Levy of Kansas City and the Chiefs facing a 10-7 deficit. Miami with a 2nd down and 8. At the Kansas City 31-yard line, Duriel Harris is to the right. Nat Moore is left. Nathan and Franklin, the running backs. Intended for Moore, picked off by Eric Harris. And Harris down at the 24-yard line. His 6th interception of the season. Clayton Stevenson, the Miami center, tripping up Harris on his return.
Marv, I'm trying to figure out who he was throwing to, unless it was number 44, Eric Harris, because he hit him right in the numbers. Nat Moore was down there, but the pass was 5 yards off. Woodley going back to throw, and he's looking for Nat Moore, number 89, but look where he throws it, way behind him. Nat Moore cut in front. He was moving away from Harris, and he hit Harris right in the numbers. For Kansas City, it's a big play for them because they couldn't afford to get too far behind this Miami football team.
And David Woodley has been intercepted for a 13th time. Kansas City taking over at their 24-yard line with 1:48 left in this first half.
He's doing the same thing. Fuller is doing the same thing. They had Al Dixon and also J.T. Smith out there, but that ball was not thrown anywhere near either one of those receivers.
So Steve Fuller, who hit on his first 7 pass attempts, then was intercepted by Lyle Blackwood, was nearly picked off again by Lyle Blackwood.
I think we had a statistic up there I was talking about just a minute ago about turnovers. Kansas City had turned it over twice. Now that was a big turnover that Miami created.
Miami now with the 6 defensive backs. Kozlowski and Besselu have come on. 2nd down and 10 for the Chiefs at their 24. Kansas City is trailing Miami 10-7. Look out, Fuller in trouble. Steve Fuller able to run his way out of trouble to get back to the line of scrimmage. Doug Betters on the tackle.
He escaped lightning that time because they almost had him. They had the blitz on. 77 is Dewey. He's coming up the middle. But nobody touched the linebacker.
Ernie Roan had a shot. 75 is Betters and able to make the ankle tackle. So it's a 3rd and 9 for Kansas City just inside the 25.
That's Roan. He had 55, came from the outside. No one touched him. And 3 shots at the quarterback.
Kansas City now going with Bubba Garcia and Carlos Carson as the wide receivers. That's J.T. Smith. And he was not a primary receiver. Don Besselu making the stop on Smith. So the Kansas City Chiefs with a 1st down, and the clock has been stopped. Timeout called with 50 seconds remaining in this first half.
Not only the secondary receiver, but that was survival out there for Steve Fuller. The pass protection has not been good. You can't get a passing game established with pass protection like that. Yes, I know that Miami knows Kansas City's going to throw, but you still have to protect that quarterback. That's the thing about getting into a passing situation with these defensive linemen today. When they don't have to worry about the run, they can just tee off and go up to that quarterback.
And a look at the AFC West from the Kansas City point of view. They must win today, although even if they win, no guarantee for the playoffs, as their situation depends on how several other clubs make out today and then next week, and then what the Chiefs do in Minnesota next week.
That's right.
And Byron Day will have the complete wrap-up, all the scores and highlights. At halftime, Miami on top at 9-4-1, and the Dolphins have a very simple formula. If they beat Kansas City, the Dolphins are in the playoffs for certain. A victory today and then next week over Buffalo would make the Dolphins the AFC East champions. Sounds simple, but of course the Jets and Buffalo also have thoughts on that matter.
Miami is playing for the home field advantage. Here it is. Fuller going back, and he's going to be flush out of that pocket. Look at all those red shirts around. He can't see anybody anyway. Finally gets rid of the ball to Smith, And they do come up with a first down, which is a big play for Kansas City. 50 seconds left in this first half. They still have a shot at getting some points on the board.
Looks like J.T. Smith was shaken up on that play. First down at the 37. Fuller off the deep front, unloads. He's got Hadnot. And Hadnot cut off at the 42 by Glenn Blackwood.
Good play by Blackwood, making that tackle so that he did not get out of bounds. And Hadnot was trying to get out of bounds. 33 and counting down in this first half. They've got to get this play off in a hurry.
And it is a 2nd and 5 off the hurry-up offense. Fuller with a bullet for Jackson. Billy Jackson has the first down. Mike Kozlowski on the tackle. And now the clock is stopped with 22 seconds remaining of the half. So the Chiefs are down to their final timeout.
Miami liked that. Even though the pass was completed, it was completed in front of the linebackers. They made the tackle, and they forced Kansas City to call a timeout with just 22 seconds remaining in the first half. Had the ball been incomplete, the clock would have stopped, and they wouldn't have had to take that timeout.
When we resume, it'll be Kansas City at the 48-yard line with a first down and 22 seconds remaining as you look at the stats on Nick Lowry. But outside of 50, as you'd expect. A little bit different story for Lowry.
I think you get around a 50-yard field goal is well within that man's range. Number 8. He's kicked them further than that. I think last year he kicked one 55 yards. But you can't expect that to happen. 57 yards. I only missed it by 2. But they need to move that ball downfield.
Last week Lowry missed from 34, and then he missed that mammoth attempt from about 58 yards away in the final seconds.
They need to get it down around the 30-yard line is what they need to do. So you're talking about 22 yards.
Again, Bubba Garcia out to the right side, and J.T. Smith apparently all right is to the left. But Fuller off the snap that was mishandled had to take it by himself, and the clock running. We're down to 13. And Kansas City now utilizing its final timeout. The clock is stopped with 11 seconds remaining. That was not the play the Chiefs had in mind.
Definitely not. Here it is, Fuller at quarterback. The ball pops loose once again. That's the second time that has happened in this first half. It's fortunate that he got downfield to pick up some yardage, but they're fighting the clock right now. 4, 5, or 10 yards is not enough. As I said, they got to get down around the 30-yard line. Now they are out of timeouts for Kansas City. They do not have enough time to complete the pass or do whatever they're going to do and stay in bounds and kick a field goal. They have to complete the pass and get out of bounds and stop the clock to have any chance whatsoever. Of course, Miami should know this.
Yes.
I know that Don Shula knows it. So you're looking at they're at the 37-yard line. They've got to pick up about 15 more yards. They've got to throw the ball near the sidelines and get out of bounds. That's as simple as it is, because they cannot throw the ball anywhere in the middle of the field because the clock will run out.
And it has to be a quick pump to the sidelines.
You figure it's going to take for a pass, if they need 15 to 18 yards, they're going to need about 6 or 7 seconds, about 7 seconds. If it's completed, the man catches it near the sideline and gets out of bounds.
Stan Rome is now flanked to the left. Now he's going middle of the field for J.T. Smith.
J.T. didn't understand that either. 7 seconds remaining. They're maybe hoping to catch it in the seam and go straight into the end zone with a touchdown. But Miami's defensive backs are back there 20, 25 yards. They're going to concede anything in front. They're going to protect the outside. It's kind of like a third baseman late in the ball game when you got a 1-run lead, and you don't want that extra base down the third base line, so that third baseman plays over by the line. Out there right now, those defensive backs, they are thinking outside. Play strong to the outside.
Now Smith is flanked to the right. The tight end Dixon in the slot. Third down for Fuller.
They're going to throw it up in the air, maybe hope something happens. That's what he's doing.
All right, here's the prayer play, and it is picked off. He got it. Yes, he got it.
Short of the goal line. but he's about a half a yard short.
However, the scoreboard showing no time remaining.
Now, how important is the timeout?
An unbelievable effort off the prayer thrown by Fuller that was deflected, but time has run out on the Kansas City Chiefs in this first half. So at halftime, as you get another look at it, Fuller firing. And there's J.T. Smith following it well, but that is it for halftime. Miami 10 and Kansas City 7.
Now get cash back from Chrysler, not from Ford, not from GM, only from Chrysler. Get back $300 to $1,000 direct from Chrysler on most new 81s and 82s. Make your best deal, then get $300 back on these cars. Get $400 back on these. Get $500 back. Get $600 back. Get $700. Get $1,000 depending on model. Get back $300 to $1,000 at participating Dodge and Chrysler Plymouth dealers. Not from Ford, not from GM, only from Chrysler.
Radio Shack makes Christmas dreams come true.
Dad, I'd really like this electronic project kit.
Our exclusive Science Fair 115-1 electronic project kit is only $29.95. A terrific teaching device to learn to build safe, solderless battery and solar radios, transmitters, computer circuits, electronic sound effects, even LED readouts. Just one of many super educational values.
How'd you know I wanted this electronic project kit?
Only at Radio Shack, your Christmas electronics store.
Copier companies have been introducing small copiers with a very interesting claim.
It's just as good as a Xerox.
It's just as good as a Xerox. Then one day...
this compact copier is very versatile. It even copies on your own letterhead. It's inexpensive, but best of all...
I know, it's just as good as a Xerox.
It is a Xerox.
The Xerox 2600, the compact copier that really is just as good as a Xerox.
New Year's Day, NBC Sports kicks off the biggest bowl bonanza ever. First, the Fiesta Bowl, as Heisman Trophy winner Marcus Allen takes on the team that dethroned top-ranked Pittsburgh. Then, the granddaddy of them all, the Rose Bowl, as the Washington Huskies battle the University of Iowa Hawkeyes. And finally, it's the battle for the national championship in the Orange Bowl. The Nebraska Cornhuskers go up against the nation's Cinderella #1 team, the undefeated Tigers of Clemson University. All this without ever changing your dial. New Year's Day on NBC Sports.
And here's that desperation 42-yard fling. Steve Fuller to J.T. Smith as time ran out on Kansas City in the first half. Now let's go to Byron Day at NFL 81.
Okay, Mark, thank you very much. A very exciting ball game there in Kansas City. Exciting ball games throughout Week 15. Of course, many with playoff hopes for many teams, and we're going to be catching you up on those games right now. Cincinnati and Pittsburgh. Cincinnati needing to win today to clinch the AFC Central title. Pittsburgh just trying to hold on. Things looked badly at the start for the Bengals. As Coach Forrest Gregg looked on the kickoff, David Trout was involved in both ways. He kicked the ball off to Verser, and then he recovered the fumble that Verser committed there. But they couldn't get anything going. The Steelers couldn't there. Ken Anderson then trying to throw the football, fumbles it. He recovers his own fumbles, but he loses 7 yards on the play. Nothing doing there. But then Frank Pollard on a 20-yard run. This set up a field goal by Pittsburgh. The score 3-0 in the early going. Kenny Anderson coming right back. A 2-yard touchdown pass to Isaac Curtis. This following a Jim Breach field goal, making the score Cincinnati 10, Pittsburgh 3. Mark Malone. This football intercepted by Reggie Williams. This set up another Cincinnati score. Kenny Anderson firing 22 yards to number 86, Steve Kreider, making the score 17-10. That ball game now in the fourth quarter. Green Bay and New Orleans. Green Bay hanging on to some slim playoff possibilities. Having no problems with the Saints right now. Down in the Dome, it's 35-7. Lynn Dickey having quite a day for the Green Bay Packers. He's thrown 1, 2, 3, 4 touchdown passes for the Pack so far today. Buffalo and New England. Big ball game for the Buffalo Bills. They win today. They can clinch at least a wild card berth. And so far, things haven't been, well, there hasn't been a whole lot to cheer about. Let's face it, Schaefer Stadium in a long time, especially on a cold winter day. Joe Cribbs adding to the misery of the Schaefer Stadium fans and the New England Patriots. Here he rambles from 25 yards. This set up this touchdown by Roosevelt Leaks, he out of Texas. 5-yard touchdown run, making it 7-0 Buffalo in the early going. Joe Ferguson then up top to number 20, Joe Cribbs out of Auburn. Touchdown run here. He gets by the defender on that play. Vegas Ferguson giving the fans of New England a little something to cheer about. A 19-yard touchdown run right up the middle, making the score 14-7 Buffalo in the second quarter. Then gentle Ben Williams and number 76 Fred Smerlis get to Matt Kavanaugh in the end zone. That's a safety. 19-7 Buffalo over New England. That's now in the fourth quarter. The Giants and St. Louis. Well, the Giants and St. Louis both have very, very slim playoff hopes. The Giants now leading that ball game 17-3 in the fourth quarter. Rob Carpenter, 1-yard run, bringing that score to 17-3. Giants over St. Louis. San Diego, Tampa Bay, very important ball game for Tampa Bay. They're trying to win their second division title in 3 years, and right now they trail San Diego 21-10. John McKay looking on as his Bucks trying to get the job done, despite what Dan Fouts does here. A 26-yard touchdown pass to Eric Sievers, 7-0 in the early going. Doug Williams then comes right back, 59 yards to T.O. Bell. That knots the score at 7-all. But then the man who won the Heisman a few years ago that some folks don't remember, John Cappelletti, 7-yard touchdown run right up the middle. That made it 14-7 at that juncture. James Brooks then ran it in just a few minutes ago. 21-10, San Diego over Tampa Bay. That ball game also now in the fourth quarter. Baltimore and Washington. In a game in RFK Stadium in Washington, D.C., the Redskins having no trouble with the Colts whatsoever. 35-14 now in the fourth quarter. Mike McCormack in big trouble, so say Robert Irsay during this week. Joe Theismann passing 38 yards for a 6 to Virgil Say. That made it 7-0 Redskins in the early going. Theismann again up top to number 81, Art Monk. Took it all the way down to the 14-yard line of the Colts. Riggins, who was in Coach Joe Gibbs' doghouse early in the season, then rumbles in from 14 yards out. That made the score 21-14 at the time. Theismann coming back to toss a 13-yard touchdown pass to number 81, Art Monk. 35-7 at that point. A field goal and then another 7 points by Baltimore, bringing that score to 38-14. Fourth quarter, Washington over Baltimore. In the ball game you're watching, it's 10-7 Miami over Kansas City. Joe Delaney, as we understand, still out with a bad back. That brings you up to date on all the scores around the league. We'll be keeping you up to date there. Something else we want to keep you up to date and advised on also is the situation in Poland. For that, we now go to NBC's Stephen Frazier.
We have word of new measures taken by the Polish government to head off general unrest in the wake of the government's crackdown on the trade union Solidarity. Earlier, the government was put in control of Poland, the borders were sealed, and union leaders were arrested. Now, according to radio reports monitored in London, all workers in essential industries have been militarized. They are treated as though they are in the service and must follow orders to report to work, even if Solidarity calls for a nationwide strike. This latest decree means that any worker who fails to follow the orders of a superior could face the death penalty. There is some concern in Washington that widespread civil disobedience could invite Soviet intervention. President Reagan has just returned from Camp David to the White House, where he had this to say about the situation in Poland.
The people of Poland. I can't go beyond this. We're monitoring the situation. The question I answered for you before was with regard to Russia. But I can't answer anything more than we're just keeping abreast of this. Said everything to the Russians, Mr. President. Well, that's what I answered before several times, along with the whole free world. We've made it plain how serious we would view any interference by them.
We do know that there has been no use of Soviet troops in Poland so far. Sources in Moscow say those Soviet troops stationed in Poland stayed in their barracks during the crackdown. We'll have full details of the situation in Poland tonight on NBC Nightly News. I'm Stephen Frazier, NBC News, New York.
At halftime, Miami leading Kansas City 10-7. NFL 81 halftime activities will continue in a moment. We'll be right back after these messages from your local station.
Sunday, a young boy travels back in time and saves an empire in through the Magic Pyramid. Then two rich girls set their sights on Ponch and John, but their real love is crime on chips. And first time on television, In Search of Historic Jesus. Startling revelations. A TV premiere after an all-new Chips and Ron Howard's Through the Magic Pyramid Sunday.
Jenkins, how's business these days?
Great. Using more long distance, sales are finally on the way up.
Good for you. We're getting more done by phone, too, with our new 800 service.
What do you mean 800 service?
You know, toll-free 800 number makes it so easy for customers to call us. We've got all the business we can handle.
800 service, huh?
Yep, it is just the ticket for companies that are going places.
For information on Bell 800 service, call this number.
Out here, a thunderstorm rolls in fast. Sometimes too fast. And when they're taken care of, it's your turn. Busch. Head for the beer brewed natural as a mountain stream. For a taste as smooth as its name. Busch. Head for Busch. Head for the mountains.
A customer is a customer, whether it's full service or self-service.
Hugh Humble talks about choice.
And we offer full and self-service so the customer can make a choice. Self-service. It's what a lot of people want. But I think a customer should have at least one fill-up in 4 at the full-service Allen. So whatever service is required, we can take care of it.
Exxon has thousands of independent dealers who offer a choice of quality products and services. Hugh Humble is one of them.
Lee Webb, he's more than just a spectator sportscaster.
Back at Arrowhead in Kansas City, Marv Albert and Len Dawson were at halftime. The Dolphins leading the Chiefs by the score 10-7. Len coming into today's game. Many criticized the Kansas City Chiefs for having a very predictable offense, but today they've been throwing the ball frequently. You surprised?
Well, I'm not really surprised because when you had an opportunity to take a look at Steve Fuller and the lack of protection that he had when Miami knew that he had to throw the football, you can understand why you might want to throw the ball on first down. I know just a minute ago I was talking to some people in Kansas City and they said that's the best game plan, their most wide open game plan they've had all year. They've thrown the ball several times on first down. I think for Kansas City, if they want to win this football game, they're going to have to throw the ball on first down. They have to keep Steve Fuller out of the situation where he has to go back and throw. They've got to throw on first down, and they came into this ball game feeling that the vulnerability of the Miami defense happened to be the cornerback positions.
Well, Fuller hit his first 7 attempts and then was picked off, and he concluded the first half with an incredible fling that was deflected and was hauled down by J.T. Smith, but time ran out on the Chiefs.
Well, as the clock says, 5-4, it's counting down. J.T. Smith makes it, but Lyle Blackwood made a good play because he prevented Smith from taking it into the end zone, as you're going to get an opportunity to see right here. He makes the catch, but there is Blackwood right on top of him, makes the stop, and Kansas City does not get any points.
And that's how the half ended. Miami in front by the score of 10-7. This 1981 National Football League game is brought to you by Schlitz, the Master Brewer's Brew. Just one taste and you'll know behind every Schlitz is a man who knows his beer. By the new Chrysler Corporation. For 1982, Chrysler has the cars, the quality, and the prices America needs. By Xerox, they make 22 copiers, and every one's an original. And by the twin-action Iroko Rototrack razor.
The new generation of Dodge Rams made an X-Ford owner out of me, and now Dodge has come up with this new Ram Miser. Beautiful inside and out. And Ram Miser gives Dodge the biggest increase in gasoline mileage of all full-size pickups. Hard to believe it's America's lowest price pickup. Equipped, not stripped.
Dodge trucks are Ram tough.
Get $300 to $1,000 cash on select new Dodge cars and trucks. See participating dealers for complete details.
I'd hold you all night, any day of the year. The way that you taste, I love you, my beer. Whoa! Why don't you get into the groove? One sip will make it clear. The bull got more taste than beer. Bye-bye beer. Yeah. Hello, bull. The Schlitz liquor bowl is top dog. Don't say beer, say bull. Say Schlitz liquor bowl.
Opening now at Sears, a Christmas of red ribbon value. Save $60 on this 19-inch color TV. With touch and tune channel selection, 1-button color, and reliable electronic tuning, just $399.95. Save $60 on this AM/FM stereo. Plays cassette or 8-track and records on cassette. Now only $169.95. 2 super home entertainment values. To wrap up a beautiful Christmas, you can count on Sears.
And we welcome you back to Arrowhead in Kansas City, Missouri, and we're getting set for the second half. Marv Albert along with Len Dawson as we look at the halftime statistics. Kansas City trailing Miami by the score of 10-7. Kansas City, though, with the edge in the first down department.
Yes, but they don't have the edge in the score, and that's the important thing. I think you look at it, it's fairly close. Total yards, though, the Chiefs have 200 yards to 126 of the Miami Dolphins. Passing-wise, Fuller had been, I think, criticized in the past, particularly last year, in his inconsistency in throwing the football, but he's 11 for 14 in the first half, and of course that last shot to J.T. Smith really helped things out as far as statistics are concerned, but they didn't get any points.
5-yard run by Tony Nathan in the first quarter gave Miami a 7-0 lead. Kansas City tied it in the second quarter on the 2-yard touchdown pass from Fuller to Al Dixon, set up by the 25-yard scramble by the quarterback Fuller, and a 39-yard field goal by Uwe von Schaman gave Miami a 10-7 lead. 5 minutes left in the second quarter. Big score right there.
Kansas City is anxious to see that in the fourth quarter. Tampa Bay is leading San Diego by the score of 23-21. And here it is, the Western Division. Denver leading with a 9-5 record, followed by Kansas City and San Diego. I said earlier, for the Chiefs, just one thing. They got to win. And for this man and his team, if they win today, they are in the playoffs. If they win today and against Buffalo Saturday, they get the home field advantage in Miami. And Cincinnati is trying to eliminate Pittsburgh at 17-3 in the fourth quarter, the Bengals leading.
And home field advantage for that man, who rarely loses at the Orange Bowl, would be devastating.
There's the east of the AFC, Miami, 9-4-1, followed by Buffalo. And remember, the two teams are going to meet next Saturday in Buffalo. The Jets still very much in the picture.
And they will meet right here on NBC. Miami and Buffalo to conclude the regular season next Saturday. Nick Lowry getting set to kick off to get this second half underway.
Special teams for, I think, both teams, in particular the Kansas City Chiefs this year, have really been outstanding. And Lowry's been a big factor. He's done an outstanding job of kicking.
This is Fulton Walker back at his 4. Good return by Walker out of the 28-yard line. Fulton Walker, a rookie out of West Virginia, hit down by backup linebacker Dave Klug. And Miami to the offense with David Woodley, the quarterback. Tony Nathan, Andre Franklin are the running backs. The receivers, Cephalo, Moore, and Lee.
Got Dario Harris in there right now at the present time. Giesler, Taves, Stevenson, Newman, and Laxo, the offensive line. Dario Harris last week did not play. Now look who's at quarterback.
Don Strock has taken over. Well, we mentioned earlier that Schiller was thinking of an early departure for Woodley. Off the swing, Tony Nathan across the 35-yard line.
Screen pass, a very easy and safe pass for Strock to get his feet wet here, throwing the ball out to number 22, Tony Nathan. You see the offensive line moving out to get involved and help in the screen. Get the ball to Nathan. As I said, it's a short pass, an easy one. Number 60 is Taves coming out throwing a block, picking up good yardage. Now it's 2nd and 1 yards for Miami. Good start in the second half for that man, Don Strock.
Don Strock 2 weeks ago against the Eagles rallied Miami in the final 8 minutes to beat the Eagles 13-10. And throwing on second down, throwing deep for Harris. Broken up by Gary Green, the left cornerback.
Going for all of it. Well covered by Gary Green. And Dario Harris really did a good job of making sure that Green did not intercept that ball, because it was hanging up there and was anybody's ball, and that man Green was in the best position to make the play. Second and short yardage. They figure they can make it if they don't next time, if they don't make it here. But Green is right there. Dario Harris giving him a little nudge, making sure he doesn't catch the ball. And that's a sign of a good receiver.
And a look at the Chiefs defensively. Still Kramer and Bell up front. They're the linebackers. Paul Blanton, Spaney, and Jackson. And as you saw, Gary Green with the good play on Dario Harris. Franklin with the first down. Andre Franklin stopped by Eric Harris, the right side quarterback.
There's the reason I believe that they went for the long bomb on second down, because they figured that they could pick up that yard on third down, and they did, maintaining the drive, keeping that football.
Andre Franklin, second-round pick out of Nebraska. He has established the Miami Dolphin rookie rushing record, came in with 622 yards. He broke Jim Kick's record that was established back in 1968. First down at the 41. Able to get it away, and just did. Penalty marker down. Gary Spaney will be hit on that one.
I don't know about Spaney because he threw the ball away. He was getting rid of that football. Let's wait and see whether they're going to call Spaney for hitting or they're... Number 59, Gary Spaney, is blitzing. He's talking to his other linebacker, Jerry Blant. Now he's going. He gets through, too. He's going to nail Strock. Strock got rid of the football. He went up high. You can see that he was trying not to. And from the reaction of the fans here, they don't like it.
Number 59, roughing the passer. Hit him in the head.
Personal foul, says Pat Haggerty.
Cannot go above the shoulder pads, whether you want to, whether it's intentional or not. And that's what happened. He hit him upside the headgear. An automatic call for the officials.
And a costly penalty for the Kansas City Chiefs. Miami first down at the Kansas City 44. This is Franklin. Nice move, cutting left and then right, stopped by Jerry Blant, the inside linebacker on the left. Cincinnati now in front of Pittsburgh, 17-10 in the fourth quarter.
Ken Anderson's thrown 2 touchdown passes in that ball game. I might go back to that last play. Don Strock was getting rid of the football. I mean, he just threw it to an open space, but he threw it forward. And not only to get rid of the ball, and it was not intercepted, but he got a call in his favor when Spaney hit him up alongside the headgear.
2nd and 5. The crowd is still smarting over that last call on Spaney. 2nd and 5 at the 39. Strock hit again as he goes incomplete, intended for Nat Moore. Mike Bell heading to the quarterback, Strock.
He hit Strock just as he got rid of the football, and then Strock was pumping. He was trying to find a lane to throw to Nat Moore between the 2 defensive backs. Kansas City's applying a lot more pressure in the second half. The last 2 plays that they've thrown the football, there has been pressure on that quarterback.
We've received word on Miami quarterback Don McNeil, who injured his arm in the first half. He is through for the day. So Fulton Walker will sub for McNeil. Penalty marker down. Tom Vicarito on the completion as Don Strock has come out and moved this Dolphin ball club.
And I think what is going to happen is Kansas City, when that yellow flag is down, Kansas City, I think, was the one that jumped offside.
It's a 23-yard pass play if it holds up.
Offside.
It is against Kansas City.
I thought it was Mike Bell, the defensive right end, that might have jumped before the snap of the ball. That's a free play for say that's a free play because if the ball had been intercepted, they still could have taken the 5-yard penalty.
And we have bad news for the Kansas City Chiefs. Word passed on that Joe Delaney is through for the afternoon. Delaney took a helmet in his back earlier, and he is out with a muscle sprain. This is Nathan inside the 15-yard line. Ken Kramer, the nose tackle, making the stop. 2-yard pickup. It'll be a 2nd down and 8. Don Strock in his 8th year out of Virginia Tech. He's completed 62% of his passes, 71 for 114. Shula has had tremendous success.
Yeah, I was looking at statistics. I think he is 25-7. 25
right.
wins, 7 losses with backup quarterback. That goes back, I think, to the days of Earl Morrall.
Second and 8 at the 13. And Strock going for the end zone, overthrows. That was Gary Green. Gary took it off. Matt Moore, the intended receiver.
Matt Moore fell down. And they were fortunate that Green did not come up with the interception. Matt Moore was on the synthetic turf, and that ball left Don Strock's hand.
Coming up a 3rd and 8 down at the 13-yard line. 3.5 minutes gone by in this third quarter. Miami in front by the score of 10-7. Now Jimmy Cefalo is to the left. And Duriel Harris to the right. It is picked off in the end zone. Gary Barbaro with a big interception. Safety, Gary Barbaro with his 5th interception of the season, and he returns it 32 yards.
Strock was bumped by his own man as he got rid of the football. He was looking for Rose, but he hit number 26, Gary Barbaro, right in the stomach. Big play, and we're going to be back in just a moment.
Clem, it's time we thank the folks at Skill. They brought out the Sandcat sander only a couple of years ago, but now we just can't work without it. Right, Clem? Skill Sandcat handles easy, like an orbital sander. Has the muscle of a belt sander. I expect it's going to last, too. As long as our Skill saw circular saw, maybe as long as me and Clem.
Skill. We build tools that last, and last.
Clem, where did you put the hammer?
United announces great low prices on complete Hawaii vacation packages. Prices that bring Hawaii closer from the East Coast, closer from the Midwest, closer from every city United serves. United, once-in-a-lifetime prices for a once-in-a-lifetime vacation.
New Year's night, don't miss the battle for the national championship in the Orange Bowl when the nation's Cinderella #1 team, the undefeated Tigers of Clemson University, take on the explosive offense of the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Happy New Year from NBC Sports.
Don Strock appeared to be moving the Dolphins, but throwing for the end zone, picked up by Gary Barbaro. This man, yes.
You know why that was? It was because of the pressure around Strock. He had his offensive line were pushed back in his lap, and he had to get rid of the football.
1st and 10, 33-yard line. The swing for Jackson. And Billy Jackson out to the 39. Vernon Denherter with the wraps around Jackson. As we mentioned, Joe Delaney, the outstanding rookie out of Northwest Louisiana, injured in the first half and is through for the day. So Marv Levy going with the combination of James Hadnot and Billy Jackson.
The offensive line is still intact, although Charlie Getty did leave in the first half with an injury. He's back in the lineup. They got Rudney at center also. He was banged up in the first half, but at this stage of the season, all of those people are hurting out there.
8-yard pickup, 2nd and 2 at the 41. Jackson again, diving for the first down, and close to the marker. Then Herter covering up.
Gordon made a nice play on that. Number 50, the linebacker of Miami, did knife through there. Made the contact on Jackson in the backfield, but that second effort got him enough yardage for a first down.
Billy Jackson picking it up. And we've received word that Don McNeil, the left corner for Miami, suffered a broken arm. Sorry to hear that. And replaced by Fulton Walker, the rookie out of West Virginia, at left corner. First down for the Chiefs, 43-yard line. Hadnot hit down by number 59, Bob Brzezinski.
You remember in the first half, Gary Spaney knifed through and guessed right. Bob Brzezinski, also with 59 on his jersey, he guessed right there. He shot the gap just as soon as that ball was snapped. He was reading the blocking of the offensive lineman. He was in the backfield, not only to disrupt the route for the runner, but also to make the tackle. It's a big play for Miami. Now it's going to put Kansas City in a situation they got to throw something that I said they don't want to be in.
2nd and 14, a 4-yard loss on the play. Kansas City at their 39-yard line. And Fuller throws the middle. The tight end, Al Dixon, across the 45, stopped by Ernie Roan.
That was good pass protection for Fuller that time. One of the reasons was because James Hadnot, the big fullback, stayed in to help clean up. And he helped give protection to the linebacker. Dewey, 77. He's a linebacker, but he blitzes. Good job up front by the offensive line to keep him away from number 4, Steve Fuller. Give him time to throw. And he had enough time, but barely enough time to get it off to 84, Al Dixon, the tight end.
Picked up 8, 3rd down, 6 at the 47. Miami going with 6 defensive backs. 8:45 left, 3rd quarter. Chiefs trailing the Dolphins 10-7. Fuller just looking to put it out of sight. Al Dixon, the alleged intended receiver.
Well, that man is leaving the field, A.J. Dewey, and you're going to see him in your picture. He's going against another 77. That's Charlie Getty. He doesn't quit. He does not quit. That's a sign of an outstanding player, that he keeps fighting and scratching, finally gets in the face of Fuller. Fuller, all he was trying to do is get rid of the football. But I think that is an indication why A.J. Dewey is so valuable to that team.
Here's Jeff Gossett back at his 32-yard line. He took over for the injured Bob Krupp, suffered a separated shoulder early in the season. Good hang time. Figueredo takes it at the 6. And excellent coverage by the Chiefs. The coverage led by the backup linebacker, Dave Klug. A 45-yard punt by Gossett. So Miami will take over with 8:25 left, 3rd quarter.
Ring in the holidays. Ring out the year. Sparkling with Andre. Love and good cheer. Take Andre home for the holidays. Andre for the holidays.
What's a celebration without Andre Champagne to lend sparkle and elegance to your good times? Greet the season and your friends with the best. Andre.
For the holidays and all year long.
Energizer.
Woo, we'll be up all night doing your homework.
Don't worry, Dad. I just put Energizers in the calculator.
Of all leading brands, nothing outlasts the Energizer from Eveready. Nothing outsnaps it. Nothing out-adds, out-walks, out-plays, out-takes, outshines, outlasts it. Nothing.
The Energizer even outlasted Dad.
The Energizer. Energizer. For life.
Long life.
Energize me.
Next Saturday, it's a battle for supremacy in the AFC East as the NFL season goes into its final weekend. Don't miss it when Joe Ferguson leads the Buffalo Bills against Don Shula's Miami Dolphins. Playoff berths are still open. Buffalo versus Miami next Saturday.
Looks like Todd Thomas, a member of the Kansas City special team, 5th-round draft pick out of North Dakota, shaken up on that last play. When we resume, Miami will take over off that good punt by Gossett. 1st and 10 at the 12-yard line. Cincinnati still leading Pittsburgh in the 4th quarter, 17-10. Green Bay over New Orleans, 35-7. What a day for Mr. Dickey, the man that Len Dawson worked with.
I worked with him when he was at K-State. He threw 5 touchdown passes today. He was 19 of 21. So Len Dickey, after suffering an injury, has come back done very well. Buffalo leading New England 19-10. That's in the 4th quarter. The Giants now jumping up on top of St. Louis, 20-3, 4th quarter. Here's an important game, particularly for the Chiefs. Tampa Bay leading San Diego 23-21 in the 4th quarter. Baltimore do have their problems, don't they? 38-14, 4th quarter, Washington leading.
So the Baltimore Colts on the verge of going 1 up and 14 down on the season. That's Todd Thomas being helped off.
Dr. Howard Elfeld helping him off.
And here are the Dolphins. 1st down at the 12-yard line. Don Strock taking over for David Woodley is 2 of 6, 32 yards, but intercepted once to stop the Miami drive. Tony Nathan out to the 15 and hit by Gary Green.
That was some kind of a tackle. 24, Gary Green met him with the shoulder pads, wrapped his arms around him, and he came to a sudden stop. This is a play that the guards are pulling. You can see Newman coming out, Taves coming out, but Green is there, wraps his arms around him, drives him to the turf. That is a classic type of tackle. You don't see that too often. Gary Green did an outstanding job on that.
Well, we just received word Tom Thomas suffered a dislocated shoulder, and he is out for the ball game. In a rough one physically. Tony Nathan battling his way for yardage, but a penalty marker thrown down. Broken arm suffered by Don McNeil, the left cornerback of Miami. Joe Delaney hurt. He's out for the game, and now Thomas.
Thomas is the snapper for extra points and punts. The backup is Jack Rudney, and I've played with Jack Rudney. He practiced once in a while. That is not his particular specialty. And someone, I think, said that, well, who would be the third one? And they said, well, it would be Bill Kenny, the quarterback, and he didn't even know it. But Jack Rudney is going to have to snap for extra points and punts.
Number 79, offense, second down.
So the hold called on the Miami Dolphins. I don't think that number was correct. Yes, it was. It is John Giesler. Yes. And Giesler was caught holding 4 times last week against New England. Said he asked Julius Adams of the Patriots if he was holding it. Adams said no. Adams probably also said, whatever you're doing, keep doing it.
See if we can't go for 5 or maybe 10.
Second and 14 back at the 8 off the penalty on the Dolphins. And Strock puts it up deep left side, and it's picked off. Eric Harris on the pass intended for Jimmy Cephalo. Strock has been intercepted again.
And that's the second interception for Harris. He had the man well covered. He was in position to make that play, coming up with another big turnover for the Kansas City Chiefs. Strock going back. He's going up top. He's trying to get 6 points, throwing it deep, but 44 Harris is stride for stride with the receiver. He's in a great position to make the interception. Another big turnover for Kansas City. We'll be back in just a moment.
Quality and value in a new American car, you must be joking. Unfortunately, to many Americans with responsibilities, it's no joke. Plymouth, yes, Plymouth is changing that with the new Reliant K. The highest mileage 6-passenger front-wheel drive car in America. Firm, quiet, built with advanced technology, and not a penny more than 81. The American way to get your money's worth.
No bull control, Alex Karras. Getting me up.
Drop in for a drink, Alex.
I'll have a beer.
Bull.
Bull? Once with a bull's enough.
No, the Schlitz Malt Liquor Bull. It's got more taste than beer. In fact, once you taste it, you may never go back to beer.
This is one bull I don't mind going head over heels for.
No one does it like the bull.
Next Saturday, be courtside with Dick Enberg and Al McGuire when Pauley Pavilion goes wild. Coach Ray Meyer's DePaul Blue Demons battle the powerful Bruins from UCLA. Right here on the home of great college basketball, NBC Sports.
We're back at Arrowhead Stadium with Miami leading by 3 points, but for Don Strock, he threw the ball away. This time, Eric Harris was the man who came up with the interception, his second.
Kansas City first down at the Miami 44. Fuller going sideline, completes to Stan Rome for a short pickup. He was covered by Gerald Small. Steve Fuller is now 14 for 18. And that is a final, so Cincinnati has clinched the AFC Central.
Oh, look at here. Banerska, 29-yard field goal with 48 seconds remaining. San Diego has taken the lead over Tampa Bay 24 to 23.
Miami Dolphins Dolphins leading the Kansas City Chiefs here at Arrowhead by the score of 10-7. Billy Jackson stopped by Doug Betters inside the 40-yard line. Miami going with Betters, Bob Howard, Bo Capper up front, Brzezinski, Roan, Dewey. Now make some changes. They send in the extra defensive backs. Kozlowski and Besselu come on to join Walker, the two Blackwoods, and Small.
The key here is going to be the pressure on the quarterback. Strock had pressure. He threw an interception. Fuller's had a lot of pressure in the first half. We've got 4 defensive linemen coming after.
3rd and 6.
More than that. Safety blitz. They had them all coming after Marv that time. They wasn't going to give him any time.
Led by Glenn Blackwood, the strong safety. So the Kansas City Chiefs will go punt formation. Jeff Gossett has checked in right here, though. Let's pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC Television Network.
And this is South Florida 7, WCKT Miami.
All right, Len, here is Jack Rudney attempting the long snap.
You see what I mean? Why he doesn't like to do it?
Gossett tried to angle it, but put it too far. Well, you're the one-time holder for the Kansas City Chiefs, so you fielded some of Rudney's snaps, but we'll get back to that a little bit later on. A timeout is called. 6:37 left in this 3rd quarter. And there's an injured member of the Kansas City Chiefs, wide receiver Henry Marshall.
Yes, and that's a big loss for Kansas City. That's one of the reasons you're seeing safety blitzes by Miami, because Henry Marshall is not in the game.
Tony Nathan not able to get going on a second effort. And may have lost a half-yard on the play. Marv Levy, the Kansas City coach, said the other day that Marshall could be back if the Chiefs make the playoffs. They would use a move. There's a final. San Diego over Tampa Bay, 24-20.
And it was Ralph Benerska's 29-yard field goal with 48 seconds remaining in that game to give San Diego the victory and keep their hopes alive. They're very much in the picture also.
They could win the division by winning next week, and they need a loss by the Denver Broncos.
You feel crazy thinking about all the possibilities of what can happen.
2nd and about 10. Figueredo unable to make the turn, and a penalty marker throw. Lloyd Forrest, the strong safety, able to follow Figueredo to the far side.
I don't know what the penalty is, but I know that Burris, that man right there, did an outstanding job of bringing that play out and making the tackle. I think maybe Kansas City realizes that Strock has thrown 2 interceptions now, and that Don Shula probably wants to get that game back on the ground and try to establish something and not give up the football. And so they're playing the run real strong.
Personal foul, clipping, number 64, declined.
That's Ed Newman, the right guard for Miami. There's David Woodley in hiding.
Well, maybe he's going to have to start warming up here in a little bit.
Don Strock coming on for Woodley to start the second half and move the Dolphins downfield in a hurry. He was helped by a costly penalty and then was intercepted at the goal line by Eric Harris. It is now 3rd down and 14 back at the 16.
Screen pass.
Intended for Eddie Hill, and a hand for the Kansas City defensive unit.
Things have changed around. Now, if Kansas City could get something going offensively, they could put a lot of pressure on Miami, because after Strock took over the start of the second half, moved the team on down toward the end zone, but through that interception, Miami hasn't done anything offensively.
And here's the running punter, Tom Orris.
I'll assure you that somebody will be watching him this time. I don't think he'll get rid of that in a hurry.
J.T. Smith, number 86, awaiting the punt at midfield. 5:40. Bad snap. And Orris gets it away. J.T. Smith. Able to break tackles to get inside the 40-yard line. Some movement of the football, but the Chiefs able to hold on. A 38-yard punt And a 12-yard return by Smith. Brzezinski making the stop.
J.T. Smith, one of the outstanding return men in the National Football League, and he does something very well right here. He's going to take a lot of hits, but he's going forward. He's not going sideways to lose ground. And also, when you start going sideways, that's when a lot of the clips and the holding penalties come in. You go straight ahead, you got a better shot of getting more yardage, and if you break that first wave, then it becomes a foot race. Kansas City on the 40-yard line got an excellent field position right now. This is a good opportunity on first down to throw that football, pick up some good yardage.
Fuller is 14 for 19.
Play pass. Got him.
Goes sideline to the tight end, Al Dixon, who has had himself another very fine day. He caught 6 for 86 yards last week against Denver.
Marv, did you see the amount of time that Fuller had with that play pass? It just holds that defensive line for a fraction because this is a running football team, Kansas City Chiefs. He got more time to step back and throw the ball. All right. Now, Buffalo with a 10-5 record. Currently, they are in first place in the AFC East. And the two top teams you see, Buffalo, Miami, they're going to play next Saturday. You can see it right here on NBC.
Second and 1, a 9-yard pickup on the pass for Dixon. Here's Jackson. Very close. Stopped by A.J. Dewey. Billy Jackson gunning for the first down. And it is a first down for Kansas City. There's A.J. in his 5th year out of LSU.
I think that's about the 3rd time that Jackson has picked up the first down when he's been hit prior to getting the yardage. And he's been spinning and twisting and fighting. He finally picked up the first yards. And I said before, that's why they like to give him the ball in short yardage situation.
Smith is to the right. Hit down by 75, Doug Betters.
59, Bob Brzezinski was blitzing on the play. Betters was coming. What that play was a bootleg. Here it is. Fuller is faking. Everybody's going one way. He wanted to jump outside. Charlie Getty was over there inviting his man in. They just guessed wrong on the play because Brzezinski, if he hadn't been blitzing, would have been dropping back or going the other way. Fuller might have had a chance. Sometimes you guess right. Sometimes you guess wrong.
And it's a loss of 3. Second, 13 for Kansas City at the Miami 32. 4 minutes and counting left, 3rd quarter. And Fuller running out of the pocket. Could not find a receiver and stopped by Beaucamper.
One thing that you concern yourself about when you got a quarterback that runs a great deal of the time is, do you let the pattern develop? Do you have to run with the football? That time, I would question whether he really had to jump out and run with the ball. He could have perhaps stepped up in the pocket because he did have a man open downfield. But when you, one thing though, Marv, when you keep getting pounded back there, you're rather reluctant to hang around too long. You want to get out of the way of all those big guys.
And Steve Fuller does come off a knee operation last year, so looking to cut down on his running. Has a 3rd down and 9. Overthrows Hadnot. Ernie Roan covering.
Ernie Roan had pretty good coverage. I don't know if the pass had been completed, whether he'd had the opportunity to make the first down or not, because Roan was right with him stride for stride. That's going to bring on number 8, Nick Lowry, who's leading the AFC in points this year, 109 points coming into this ballgame.
Nick Lowry attempting from 46 yards away. And it's Rudney doing the snapping. Looking to tie it. So the bad snap by Rudney, and Len, you called it earlier.
That ball was rolling along the ground back there. Rudney has been hurt most of the year with various types of injuries. He's got a bad hand to start with, and so he's not going to get that much of an opportunity to work on it. That time it didn't work.
Rudney replacing Todd Thomas, who was injured earlier this 3rd quarter, and it has cost the Kansas City Chiefs. All right, here's the inexperienced snapper, Jack Rudney, although a longtime veteran, having his difficulties on this snap. What's the toughest part of it for a guy like Rush?
Well, I would say he's not accustomed to doing it, and he doesn't have the confidence that is necessary in the situation he was in. He was just thrown into it. Plus the fact, as I said, he's got a bad hand and he's got various other injuries.
Dolphins take over at the Kansas City 44-yard line. Franklin stacked up. Mike Bell, number 99, leading that enthusiastic Kansas City defensive unit.
Mike Bell had a loop coming in that time where he changed the way that he was going after the quarterback. He came to the inside, and he guessed right now on that particular play, and he was right there when the ball carrier got the football.
Coming into today's play, the Chiefs second defensively in the AFC against the rush, but 12th against the pass. They're trailing Miami here by the score of 10-7, second and 10. John Strock puts it up. Nice catch. Leaping catch by Tom Vigorito. Hit by the combination of Jackson and Blanton.
And was he ever hit? He was defenseless because he was left his feet to go up in the air to make the reception. He was nailed by two of the linebackers of the Kansas City Chiefs.
6-yard advance, second and 4 for the Dolphins. Eddie Hill has come on, combining now in the backfield with Tom Vigorito. Ariel Harris to the right, Jim Cephalo, flank left. That's the tight end, Joe Rose. He is claiming that he was in first down territory as Lloyd Morris made the hit, and he gets the call.
I think he was. He was down there. He was driven back by Burris 34, but he had picked up the first down when he made the reception. It was a good call by the officials. Strock coming back for the defensive lineman coming after him. He's following that tight end on a crossing pattern. A good throw, a good catch. Because Lloyd Burris, 34, had good coverage on it, but it was just an exceptional throw.
And Len, that's the third reception for the second-year man out of University of California, Joe Rose. Well, the Giants still alive. They go 8-7, and the Cardinals dropped to 7-8. Cardinals got off to the poor start and then came on strong.
Art Still batted that one down, number 67. One of the reasons why they like him, 6'7" tall. He got the big hands up in the air. It was trying to be a quick throw to the outside. You're going to see here he just gets rid of the offensive tackle. In a situation when the quarterback is going to get rid of that ball that quickly, what they want to do is have the offensive lineman step back and then fire out low so that defensive end will get his hands down.
And another injury suffered by Miami. Tony Nathan, a question mark, twisted right knee. Therefore, we have Vigorito and Hill again in the backfield. Penalty markers down as Strock unloads. Intended for Harris. Broken up by Green.
There was movement in that line. Looked like the Kansas City Chiefs jumped offside. Yes. They'll take the 5-yard penalty. 67. Art Still. Also, there was a linebacker jumping up in the gap. He was coming too. They were anticipating the count. And when you get a veteran quarterback that can change his cadence in a blitzing situation in particular, you can have the opportunity to have him jump offside.
Miami now at the Kansas City 28-yard line. Second and 5. Strock is 4 of 11. Batted down by Still.
You must get the hands down of those big defensive ends. You can't throw over him. He's 6'7", and when he just stretches his hands up in the air, he's about 9 feet tall right there. Look how tall he is. He gets a hand up and just bats it away. Laxo's fighting him, but he's got to fire out and down around his knees. And when you fire out around a defensive lineman's knees, he's going to put his hands down there to protect himself.
Art Still putting on a rejection festival here in the third quarter. A minute and 15 left. Third down and 5. Dolphins 10. Chiefs 7. Again movement. Again penalty markers down. Nearly picked off. Pass intended for Eddie Hill. Gary Spady was right there.
And once again, the defensive line of the Kansas City Chiefs jumped before the snap of the ball. Now, I don't know if they were were drawn up. No, they were not. Credit that to Strock. He's doing that out there. He's changing up his cadence, and he's getting that defensive line edgy. They want to rush. They know he's going to throw the football, so they want to get. They're forgetting about the run. They want to get back to that quarterback as fast as possible.
Offside, defense,
Gary Spaney was the man called out by Haggerty. Marv Levy not pleased about that last call.
Not pleased. That's
They don't say those words in Harvard, do they?
I don't know.
Andre Franklin. Barry Blanton making the stop.
I think that last play gives you a pretty good indication why there's been so many injuries in this ball game. They are popping out there. Here it is, 52 seconds counting down in the third quarter. Kansas City knows right now they can't afford to give up 7 points. If they're going to give up anything at all, it's going to be a field goal.
Franklin picked up 4 on the carry. A 2nd and 6 for the Dolphins upcoming at the Kansas City 19-yard line. Now a half minute left in this third quarter. And again the sideline pattern for Dorial Harris. And a first down for Miami. It'll be a 1st and goal. Dorial Harris, who sat out last week because he twisted his knee in that end zone celebration in the Philadelphia game, is back in action here today.
He makes a good catch coming back for the football, but I think he suffered the consequences because he's limping off the field right now. There he is, number 82, Dorial Harris.
And that's the end of the third quarter. The score, the Dolphins 10, the Chiefs 7. We'll be back after these messages from your local station.
Monday, celebrate Casper's first Christmas, and it's an all-new Chipmunk Christmas. Then, a special look back at a Bing Crosby Christmas, like the ones we used to know. And the Mac Davis Christmas special with the Pointer Sisters, the Commodores, and Andre Crouch. A night of family specials Monday.
People will invent any excuse to keep from talking to a life insurance agent.
What do I tell him?
Tell him I died.
He died.
Uh-oh. Here comes that insurance man again. But excuses could leave your family with nothing. And there's no excuse for that. When your independent life agent calls, talk to him.
Trust the leader in technology to forge a new legend, Seiko LaSalle. Trust Seiko to fuse slim elegance and fearless performance. New Seiko LaSalle. Trust Seiko to create timepieces destined for a place among the world's great possessions. Seiko LaSalle. Miracles of slimness, marvels of technology. No wonder people trust Seiko more than any other watch. Seiko at your authorized dealer.
South Florida 7.
Back in Kansas City, Missouri, this is Marv Albert with Len Dawson. Temperature at 38 degrees, a very crisp but pleasant day here at Arrowhead Stadium. The lights have been on from the second quarter on. Miami Dolphins leading the Kansas City Chiefs by the score of 10-7. The difference, a field goal from 39 yards away by Uwe von Schonen. 5 minutes left, second quarter. Earlier, Fuller hit the tight end Dixon, 2-yard touchdown pass play. Tony Nathan ran it in from 5 yards away. 1st and goal for the Dolphins at the 9, and Strock fires. Scott Hardy inside the 5. The tight end out of Arizona State, Bruce Hardy, hauled down by the combination of Barbaro and Harris.
Marv, on that last play, they had 2 tight ends in the ball game, 2 wide receivers, and just 1 back. What that does, it spreads out the defense, and he had his tight end just dragging off the line of scrimmage, getting 3 or 4 yards deep and popping the ball in a hurry.
It is a 2nd and goal. The ball has been spotted just outside the 1. Important sequence right here. Andre Franklin is in. Andre Franklin with his 7th touchdown of the season to give the Dolphins a 16-7 lead.
And that time he went in with great authority. He was going to get that 1 yard because he was really flying into that line of scrimmage. Now you see the importance of those penalties for Kansas City. Here it is right here. He sees a little gap there, and he just puts his head down, grabs the ball with both hands, and believe me, that is important, making sure he doesn't fumble.
Good blocks by Laxo and Lee to lead the way. And here's Von Schaven. And he just did put it through.
It was partially blocked. Unfortunately for Miami, it went straight forward, and it didn't make it, and they got the point.
So a break for the Dolphins. That could be a big point later on. Miami leading it.
In business, you have only so much time. Don't fall behind. Make your time more productive through the Bell Network, the world's most advanced information management system. With long distance, you can call ahead for appointments, resolve service problems, sell your smallest accounts. You are already part of the network. Use it. Put our knowledge to work for you. The Information Management Network from Bell.
I have found my new car. The Chrysler LeBaron Series for 1982. LeBaron combines high mileage and luxury. The coupe even has a Mark Cross interior available. And no other car has front-wheel drive, luxury, and seat 6 at so surprising a price. Lee Iacocca's dream to combine high mileage and luxury is a reality. The 1982 Chrysler LeBaron Series, they are like no other cars in America, Europe, or Japan. My new car.
When Quincy counsels a dying woman.
What can I do for her?
And her distraught family.
You're being a quitter. You won't fight.
He learns a lesson in living Wednesday.
This extra point was partially blocked. Looked at the left of your screen. Dave Klug, number 55, a linebacker, comes in. He times it. He's up. He does get a piece of it, but fortunately for Miami, it went straight, and it was good.
Penalty marker down on the kickoff return by Deron Cherry, one of the up men. But a flag is down. Miami Dolphins leading it by the score of 17-7. And a win here today.
Blocking in the middle of the back, number 84 on the return.
Al Dixon blocking in the middle of the back, which is a no-no.
A win here today by the Dolphins would clinch a wild card playoff spot for Miami, and if they can beat Buffalo next week, along with a win here,
Blocking above the waist, on the return, first down.
it would mean the AFC East title for Miami.
Rather important game next Saturday in Buffalo, New York, between the Miami Dolphins and the Buffalo Bills. This is a rather important drive here for the Kansas City Chiefs. They hope to win.
First down at the 19-yard line, and Fuller in trouble. Able to get it away for Dixon, but he can't hang on. He dropped an easy one.
He did not concentrate on catching that football because it was a good move by Fuller. He escaped the pressure back in there and threw the ball to Dixon, who came back. Now it's scramble time. The receiver's responsibility when you see the quarterback scrambling, you find an open spot. Get moving. Don't stand still. Keep moving. The ball is thrown, hits him right in the stomach. He just was not looking at it. Did not come up with it.
Steve Fuller is now 15 for 22. He has gone all the way. This is second start of the season. And out he goes. And fans here in Kansas City getting testy.
Well, they should be, because the protection is not good. They only had 3 receivers out on that pattern. That means that the rest of them, 7 of them, are supposed to be back helping protect the quarterback, and he didn't even have time for the pass pattern to develop.
You just saw number 75, Doug Betters, receiving credit for the sack. He now has 5.5 on the season. Now look at the wild card contenders. Buffalo victorious today. They're 10 up and 5 down. The Jets beating Cleveland yesterday. And Miami coming into today at 9-4-1. San Diego now 9-6. This has been updated. Pittsburgh losing to Cincinnati, so Cincinnati clinching the Central. And Fuller again from his end zone. Nice catch, but let's see, incomplete. J.T. Smith had it and was really blocked by Glenn Blackwood.
Boy, that is about as hard a hit that you want to see. He really nailed him. He caught him just as he's getting his hands on the football. You're going to see it right now. To the right ear screen. He gets his hands on the ball, and here comes Blackwood. J.T. Smith was hurting coming into this game. I can assure you tomorrow, whirlpool time for J.T.
That's Tom Vigorito awaiting the punt from Jeff Gossett from his end zone. Vigorito. It's down at the 45-yard line by Stan Rome. So the Dolphins back to the offense with 13:05 left in this fourth quarter.
If your morning shave has turned into a nightmare, gotcha. Wake up to the exclusive twin-action Norelco Rotatract razor. Inside 3 floating heads. Twin-action grips and raises hair up, then razors hair off, closer than ever. For twin blade closeness without a nick or cut, the twin-action Norelco Rotatract razor. Quarter rechargeable, because for close shaves,
there's no action like twin action.
Opening now at Sears, a Christmas of red ribbon values.
Joan has a garage door opener. So does Shirley. But when Shirley's light goes out like some, Joan stays on a full 4.5 minutes because hers is a Sears premium garage door opener. Besides the light, it has a vacation security switch, over 19,000 security codes, and it's now on sale for just $159.99.
To wrap up a beautiful Christmas, you can count on Sears.
New Year's night, catch the primetime pageantry and excitement of the Orange Bowl as #1 ranked Clemson goes for the national championship against the Nebraska Cornhuskers. It's a classic matchup, highlighted by a spectacular halftime show. The Orange Bowl, New Year's night on NBC.
Kansas City offense talking it over. They have been baffled and stopped by the Miami defense. The Miami defense really coming on as of late. It had been an up-and-down season at the start. They played very well. Then, according to A.J. Dewey, the defense slumped. But now A.J. says the Dolphins back together playing very hard-nosed, aggressive football. That's been the case here in the second half. Andre Franklin refusing to go down inside the 40.
He took about a 1-yard or 2-yard gain and made it about an 8-yard gain simply on his determination, that leg drive, to keep moving.
Don Shula looking to make it to the playoffs once again. All he needs is a victory today. And the Dolphins leading it by the score of 17-7 with 12.5 remaining in this fourth quarter. Franklin picking up 7 on the play. 2nd and 3 for Miami at the Kansas City 37-yard line. Franklin and Hill now on the running backs. That's the tight end Hardy in motion. This is Franklin. This time, the gang tackling of the Chiefs puts Franklin down.
They've got an altercation going on down on the field between number 64, Ed Newman, and I think it's the linebacker for Kansas City, Jerry Blanton. And the yellow flag has appeared. It did not go unnoticed by the men in the striped shirt.
Denver in front of Seattle 7-0 in the first quarter.
Yeah, Morton, the 22-yard pass.
64, 54, 75 over here. Offsetting penalties.
Offsetting penalties. It was Ed Newman and Jerry Blanton getting involved. Chicago leading Oakland 7-0.
Oakland was one of those teams with the possibility, maybe.
Very long shot. Yes. Very long. This has really been a rough game physically. Miami has lost lost Tony Nathan with a twisted knee. Don McNeil out with a broken arm. Uriel Harris was shaken up a couple of series back. Kansas City losing Todd Thomas, dislocated shoulder, and the key loss, the super running back, the rookie Joe Delaney, who left in the first half, took a helmet in his shoulder.
Uriel Harris is back in the ball game now. He's up the top of your screen at the right flank position.
It's a 3rd down and 5. And the swing for Eddie Hill. Eddie Hill, who showed us some moves last week, going out of bounds, but again a flag down.
That flag traveled about 15 yards by the officials.
It's against Miami. Illegal use of hands.
And we've got another player down. You're taking a look at Strock going back. It's a swing pass out to Hill, and he's going down the sideline. And it could be on number 64, Newman, for pushing. But as I said, we've got a player down on the field. It's on about the 30-yard line.
Illegal use of hands, number 64, offense, still 3rd down.
So it is Ed Newman, a very confident right guard.
And look who's down. Do you recall who the offsetting penalties were on the last time? Number 57, Jerry Blanton.
Ed Newman showing his confidence. He predicted that the Dolphins would win the final 4 games of the season to surge to the AFC East title. And he said, no question, we're going to win the final 2.
He said that we got him in our back pocket or hip pocket or something like that. It's not quite that easy, but if a quarterback's thinking, if you want somebody to have confidence, you want your offensive lineman to have confidence. There he is, number 64, Ed Newman.
12:04 remaining in this 4th quarter. When we pick up play, it'll be a 3rd down and 12 for Miami at the Kansas City 46-yard line. They continue to attend to Jerry Blanton. Don Shula talks it over with quarterback Don Strock, who came on for David Woodley in the 2nd half.
Strock has had fantastic success coming off the bench, and that's not an easy job. That's probably about as tough a job as there is on a football team. Remaining games in the contenders in the Western Division. Denver's going to be playing at Chicago. Kansas City, of course, travels to Minnesota next week. San Diego's at Oakland. I mentioned that Miami and Buffalo will be playing, and I kept trying to send them up north to Buffalo, but they are not going north. They're going south. They're playing at the Orange Bowl in Miami.
And Jerry Blanton is headed back to the dressing room. The medical corps for both clubs very busy here this afternoon. Now we're set for the 3rd down and 12 at the Kansas City 46, and the crowd urging on the chief defensive unit. And Strock going deep for Nat Moore. 1st and goal for the Dolphins at the 8-yard line.
That is a Nat Moore that I can recall of the years past. Outstanding catches. It was one-on-one. The blitz was on by the Kansas City Chiefs. Strock read that blitz. He knew that he could go deep. He'd have Nat Moore one-on-one with the man who has intercepted 2 passes so far this afternoon, number 44, Eric Harris. But Moore had a step and came up with a big play. 38 yards. The Chiefs are in trouble.
Very severe trouble with a 1st and goal for Miami at the 8-yard line. 11 and a half left, 4th quarter, and the Dolphins leading it by the score of 17-7. Eddie Hill. And he found a hole on the right side to make good on the slant. Now for an NFL update, let's go to our New York studios. Here's Byron Day.
All right, Mark, thank you very much. In Denver, the Broncos are ahead 7-0, but watch this. Craig Morton is sacked. He fumbles. Manu Tuiasosopo recovers the fumble. Seattle's in great field position. Mark?
All right, Byron, and Miami in great field position.
About as good as you could be in without being in the end zone on the 1-yard line.
2nd and goal for the Dolphins. to stop Andre Franklin.
Yes, sir, that was a big play. They need to get a goal line stand here to stop them from getting 7 points. They're down 10 points right now with 10:20 remaining in this football game.
It was the free safety, Gary Barbaro, putting the helmet down low on Andre Franklin. 3rd and goal. Just outside the 1. And here's Franklin stopped again. This time Dino Mangiero, the second-year man out of Rutgers.
Now what? Now what do you do? It's 4th down, and you still need that yard to go. You have a 10-point lead. I would go for it if I were Don Shula, because if they took a field goal, it would be 13-point lead. 2 touchdowns would catch you. But if they get into the end zone, and their defense, as you mentioned, their defense of Miami's been shutting down Kansas City's offense.
And the crowd again urging the Kansas City defense on. 4th and goal at the 1. Franklin, stop. Don Shula not going for the 3, and the Kansas City Chiefs able to stop the Miami Dolphins.
Look at the penetration by the Chiefs defensive end. They're rooting in down there. They're getting penetration, so there's absolutely no place for the ball carrier to go. Shula went for it. I think it was a good call because he could have put the game away if they had gotten into the end zone. As it is, they're 10 points ahead right now, and they've got the Chiefs backed up to their goal line. And the Chiefs haven't done anything in the second half. They got to get a little breathing room there. They can't afford a penalty in the end zone because it would be 2 points against them. But there it's 9 minutes and 28 seconds to go, and they need 2 touchdowns.
And they take over at their 1-yard line. Now Fuller looking to throw, going sideline. Broken up. Intended for Carlos Carson. Harold Small got a hand on it.
He got a hand on it. It's a good thing that he did. Number 48, Small, the cornerback. If Carlos had caught that ball with his type of speed, he'd have been gone. It would have been a 99-yarder. But here's Fuller going back. Dewey is blitzing. They're keeping everybody in there to help protect that quarterback. And he goes up top. He's trying to get at Carlos Carson. And just at the last instant there, you saw Small get his hand in.
Harold Small, who has been the big play man for the Miami Dolphins in the secondary. 4-year pro out of San Jose State. Fuller now 2nd and 10 from the 1.
Let it go. Got a man open.
J.T. Smith. Fulton Walker covering on the play. And Kansas City picking up a 1st down.
They got out of a jam. Now they got a little bit of breathing room. So simple fact that here's Fuller back here. Doug Benner's coming after him, but the ball is away. 86 is Smith, makes the reception, but it gives him a little breathing room. He also jumped out of bounds, stopped the clock. There's 9:17 remaining, but they still have a long way to go.
15-yard advance. And a 1st down for Marv Levy's Kansas City Chiefs. At their 16-yard line, the running backs, Billy Jackson and James Hadnot.
And he gets his feet planted. Look at that. His feet are planted. He steps forward, and he really follows through. He gets it between the 2 defensive men into J.T. Smith. If he hadn't got his feet situated, and I think, and really followed through with that, then the defensive end would have had an opportunity to knock it down. But that was an excellent throw by Fuller.
24-yard pass play. Steve Fuller and J.T. Smith combining 1st down for Kansas City at their 40-yard line. Lots of time for Fuller again. James Hadnot.
Ball is loose. They're going to give it to Kansas City.
It was whistled dead at the 46. Brzezinski on the tackle. The ball was jarred loose by Glenn Blackwood.
He's going to get an argument from the Miami Dolphins. And in particularly, I think, Blackwood 47. The ball is thrown. A good throw once again. Dixon is there, makes the reception. He's hit by 2 players. I think his knee hit. Hadnot was the receiver. Dixon, I said Dixon. It was number 48, the fullback, Hadnot.
2nd down and 3 at the 47-yard line. Number 77, A.J. Dewey, after Doug Betters had a shot, but lost out on the scramble by Fuller.
And Fuller lost his shoe also. He's got to hurry up. The clock is moving. He's got to get his shoe on, get it tied while the play is coming in, because you can't afford a timeout right now.
And that's the 3rd sack of the day by Miami, making for 18 yards lost by the Chiefs. The stats on Fuller, 18 for 27.
He failed to tie his shoe, I might add. Fuller put his shoe on, but he didn't tie it. So he's not going to be scrambling this time.
Well, nothing gets past you, Len. All right. And Fuller now having to scramble out of trouble. The fumble, it was blown dead. What a play by Ernie Rome. He not only went for Fuller, but looked to strip the ball, and he did, but it was blown dead.
Fuller didn't see him. He came up from behind. He was stripped of the ball. You have to throw, and the defense knows it. Here's Dewey coming in, getting penetration, flushing him out. Here it is right here, stripping him of the ball. But he hit the turf first.
So again, the big effort by the Dolphins defensive unit. And Kansas City is forced to punt. Jeff Gossett back at his 23. Vigorito awaiting. Goes down at the 23-yard line, hit by Cal Peterson. A 47-yard punt, 8-yard return, 6:36 remaining, as you see, in this 4th quarter. And the Dolphins lead it by the score of 17-7.
Believe it or not, if 9 out of 10 of these homes burn down, there's no guarantee they'll be totally rebuilt. Because rebuilding costs are rising so fast, even inflation protection may not cover a home fully. But now, Allstate's got the brand new home replacement guarantee. Get it and get your home built back just like it was, even if rebuilding costs more than you're covered for. Ask your Allstate agent about the new home replacement guarantee. For ideas that make good sense today, you're in good hands with Allstate.
Behind every Schlitz is a man who knows his beer.
The people here in California know their beer. In fact, beer is a big part of their Oktoberfest. Schlitz, please. And for our master brewer, the final test is a beer drinker's taste.
I think Schlitz tastes a little better than Bud. It's nice and mellow. I like it. I'm impressed. This Schlitz really tastes good.
Mr. Sellinger, I'll go with your Schlitz.
I knew you would.
Behind every Schlitz is a man who knows his beer.
Now there is another one-time Boilermaker quarterback by the name of Bob Greasy.
Bob said that he gets all the, he gets a call from Shula when it's 3rd and 22. So, Bob, anything you want.
Yeah. Miami Dolphins take over 1st down at their 24-yard line. Andre Franklin. Again, using that spin move. Stopped at the line of scrimmage by the nose tackle, Don Parrish. A mark of what this Miami defense has accomplished the past few weeks when they have pulled out of their slump, according to A.J. Dewey. With the game on the line the last 3 weeks, Miami has not allowed their opponents to cross the 50-yard line in the second half.
Timing is so important in any sport, and timing when you're getting close to the playoffs and in the playoffs is very important, as was evident last year by the Oakland Raiders. They got hot when they had to, coming down the stretch.
Again, Franklin gets the call, and it's a short pickup out to the 32. Gary Spaney, inside linebacker on the right side, making the stop. There's Jimmy Cefalo checking in.
They're sending in some receivers on this play, but I don't think they're going to throw the football. I think if they do, it's going to be a safe pass like a screen or an outlet pass, but they're looking to utilize that clock. There's 5 minutes and 30 seconds remaining in this football game, and they don't want to turn it over to the Kansas City Chiefs and give them an easy score.
It's a 3rd down and 7 for Miami.
Keeping it on the ground.
Tom Picarito. And the Chiefs thought they jarred it loose. Deron Cherry, free safety, making the stop. Kansas City looking to strip Picarito of the football.
Well, that's all they can do right now is hope for a turnover, and here it is. Guards are pulling. Taves coming through the hole. Now, both arms around that football. Grasp it, make sure that they don't give up the football by a fumble. Of course, Kansas City defense, they're taught. Once somebody's got the man around in their grasp, go for the ball.
There's Tom Orris back at his 16-yard line. J.T. Smith out to the 35. The Miami coverage led by the tight end Bruce Hardy. A 40-yard punt by Orris. 8-yard return. 4.5 left, 4th quarter. Miami Dolphins 17. Kansas City Chiefs 7.
There's only one way to buy a Japanese import and get cash back. Come to Chrysler, not Datsun, not Toyota, not Honda.
Get $500 back on a new 81 Mitsubishi-built Colt or Champ. On a new 82, get $300 back. Get $500 back on a new 81 Challenger or Sapporo. On a new 82, get $300 back. Get $500 back on any new 81 or 82 Ram 50 or Arrow pickup.
Get up to $500 back on Mitsubishi imports at participating Dodge and Plymouth dealers. Not Datsun, not Toyota, not Honda, only Chrysler.
10 tough, mean beards versus one Bic shaver. Can one Bic shave them all?
Bic, say your prayers. My beard's gonna send this Bic to the showers.
That Bic is gonna beg for mercy.
It's amazing. It looks like one Bic shaver is going to shave these 10 tough beards.
Looks like Bic wins. I got a great shave also. No way. Let me see the replay.
Yes, one Bic shaved these 10 tough beards. How many shaves can you get? Marv Albert, Lenny Dawson from Arrowhead Stadium, Kansas City, Missouri. And the Kansas City Chiefs facing a devastating loss in terms of their playoff hopes. They are trailing the Dolphins 17-7. And time running out. 4.5 left, 4th quarter. Chiefs first down at their 37-yard line. Steve Fuller throwing sideline, and it's dropped. Out at midfield. Carlos Carson not able to hang on. He was covered by Gerald Small. Carson making his return this afternoon. He suffered a broken leg. Back the 3rd game of the season, just reactivated yesterday. Cincinnati, as you know by now, defeating Pittsburgh 17-10, clinching the AFC Central. Green Bay, led by Lynn Dickey, close personal friend of Len Dawson, with the big victory. And Buffalo, an important win over New England. Giants maintaining their playoff hopes as they knocked off the St. Louis Cardinals. Underthrown, Fuller's arm was hit.
Bocamper coming from the right side, right defensive end position to put pressure on Fuller. The last pass that he threw to Carson hit him right in the numbers. I mean, you have to catch those passes. You have to concentrate and make those receptions. San Diego come from behind victory 24-23 over Tampa Bay, and they're still very much in the picture. Baltimore continuing to have their problems. Washington 38-14 was the final of that score. Philadelphia in the 2nd quarter leading Dallas 3-0. And out on the coast, no score between Houston and San Francisco. Chicago in the 2nd quarter leading Oakland 7-6.
3rd down 10 for Fuller, who is now 18 for 29, 185 yards. He was bumped by his own man, Jackson, able to float one down and drop the easy reception for Bubba Garcia, a 2nd-year man out of Texas, El Paso. Had he caught that, that would have been his first reception of the season, and he dropped an easy one.
You know, you wonder how somebody can miss a pass like this, and this really is constant. Fuller does an excellent job of getting out. Now you just have to watch the ball. You see where his head is. His head isn't following the football. It's simple. You're going to catch it, you look at the ball. You can see that he really wasn't looking at the football. And in receiving, it's always first things first. Make the reception first, and then worry about where you're going to run after.
That is one that Bubba Garcia will take with him throughout the offseason.
Two out of the 3 passes that Fuller has thrown, he's hit the man right in the stomach.
So 4th down play, and here's Fuller again looking to put it up, getting pressure from Dewey, able to complete. The running back had not, short of a first down, covered by Gerald Small.
3 defensive linemen rushing, and they flushed him out of the pocket. You got 5 men helping to protect the passer. That's what I mean. When you have to throw, and those defensive linemen know it, it's tough to keep them out.
Direction that was Don Besselo on the coverage, on the play. Next week, NBC Sports has another special Saturday edition of NFL football. Host Brian Gumbel will have all the news from around the league on NFL 81 starting 3:30 Eastern time. And then it's a game that could certainly decide the AFC East title. Buffalo taking on Miami in the Orange Bowl. That's a special edition of NFL football next Saturday on NBC Sports. Hangs on here, which would seem likely, unless there is a miracle, that game will decide the AFC East. Mike Bell on the stop of Eddie Hill.
Right now what Kansas City has to hope for is a turnover. An easy touchdown, something to happen, the ball pop loose. And it has happened with this football team this year. They beat Pittsburgh in the first game of the year when Bradshaw was trying to hand off to Franco Harris. The ball was loose. The linebacker picked it up and ran it for a touchdown. That was a victory for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Looking back on that drop pass by Garcia, I think that may well have been beat season for Kansas City. That could be it.
I think it was. Looking at the San Diego Chargers, they came from behind to win that football game. They're ahead of the Kansas City Chiefs. And Buffalo won. Yeah, I think it is. I think that Kansas City, they're going up against Minnesota next week. And the last couple of ball games really hurt them. Against Denver last week, they had a shot at winning that football game, and linebacker Swenson came up with a big interception that prevented them an opportunity to kick a field goal. Looking at Jack Rudney, fine offensive center of the Kansas City Chiefs, who's fought many, many battles, and I think he signed a 2-year contract, so he'll be back to fight another one next year.
Here's Eddie Hill, and Hill gets inside the 35. Cal Peterson, the inside linebacker on the left, making the stop. A loss here by Kansas City will make it 5 out of 7. This is a club that opened up at 6-2. A club that has had its best season by far in many a year. Now for another update, let's go to NFL 81 and Byron Day.
Okay, Marv, thank you very much. Seattle really taking it to the Denver Broncos, not rolling over and dying for them by any means. Jeff West punts this football down to almost the goal line, but Don Duffett punches the ball back for the 1. Dennis Boyd sits on it. The Hawks have the Broncos backed up. Marv?
Thank you, Byron. And here at Arrowhead in Kansas City, the Dolphins in front of the Kansas City Chiefs by the score of 17-7. A score that put it away, as you see, only 2:33 left fourth quarter. Andre Franklin taking it in from 1 yard out to open things up early in the fourth quarter. The earlier scoring 5-yard TD run by Tony Nathan. A 39-yard field goal by Uwe von Schaman to make it 10-7 at the half. The touchdown by Kansas City. Quarterback Steve Fuller setting it up with a 25-yard scramble, and then Fuller hitting the tight end Al Dixon from 2 yards away. That tied it at 7. The field goal made it 10-7, and the 1-yard burst by Franklin giving the Dolphins a 17-7 lead. But the story here in the second half, again, that Miami defense.
Miami's defense has done an outstanding job, except for the one drive, and I had mentioned it's tough to go 80 yards. The Chiefs went 80 yards for their sole touchdown. Other than that, they really haven't been that close.
All right, Tom Orris, as the Chiefs let it go. Gary Barbaro let it sail over his head, and Kansas City will take over at their 20-yard line. 2:27 remaining in this fourth quarter. And with Kansas City taking over on the offense again.
They're really not out of of a chance. You know, 2:27, things can happen, but they need a real big play right now. They need something to have to get into the end zone in a hurry. It's difficult because the way they've been going in the second half, Miami has just shut them down.
And they are without Joe Delaney. Lost him. He was injured in the first half. James Hadnot stopped by Kozlowski and Veselu. Marv Levy has gone with the combination of Billy Jackson and James Hadnot, but Jackson much more effective when he comes in the short yardage situation. Penalty marker down as Fuller unleashes across the field. Billy Jackson on the reception. It is a first down, but penalty marker thrown. Kozlowski making the stop.
Bring it on back. It's against Kansas City Chiefs. It'll be holding. They ought to hold a little better than that for clipping something, is, you know, that they offensively, because Fuller was flushed out of the pocket once again. And Miami, as I said, they're rushing primarily 3 men on the passing.
Personal foul. Clipping, number 77. 2-minute warning.
Charlie Getty called for the clip, and the 2-minute warning has been provided. So we'll be right back with Miami leading Kansas City here at Arrow.
Take a look at aluminum flying, aluminum trucking, aluminum driving, aluminum jet foiling. Aluminum is reducing weight and saving energy, because the lighter something is, the less fuel it takes to move it. Aluminum, it's the metal that moves America. And we're doing it now. We can't wait for tomorrow.
Crowd here has been filing out the last few minutes in the fourth quarter. Again, under capacity crowd. You may wonder why no sellout today. 8-6 club coming in against Miami. Apparently people still don't believe in the Chiefs. They've gone some 9 years without making the playoffs, although it has been a good season. Overthrown for Dixon or underthrown for the receiver downfield. J.T. Smith, take your pick.
And once again, Fuller was moving out of the pocket. He may have been moving that time so that he'd have an opportunity to see someone, because what is happening, the defensive linemen, even if they're being blocked, they're pressing the offensive lineman into the pocket where the quarterback is located, and he can't see. In order to see, Fuller had to jump outside. Total offense. Kansas City 287 to 274.
That tells nothing, because second half Kansas City offense invisible. And Fuller off the deep drop connects with Jackson. And again, the Chiefs are hemmed in. Mike Kozlowski, the second-year man out of Colorado, making the stop. Minute 38 and running. It's 4th down and 5. Throws the bullet. It was deflected away. Dixon unable to hang on. Kozlowski again on the coverage along with Roan.
Roan was the man that got the hand up there and knocked it away, and that was a 4th down situation. 1:24 remaining, and all Miami's going to have to do now is just give the ball to the backs and tell them to hold on, do not fumble.
So the Miami Dolphins will make it 3 in a row. This after that last-second loss to the New York Jets, coming up with a key win over Philadelphia, the victory last week over New England, and they will clinch a playoff spot with the win here today.
Marv, do you think that maybe Ed Newman, the guard, really knew what he was talking about? So far, he's 3 for 3. He said they're going to win the last 4 ball games of the regular season, and the last 2 were in their hip pocket.
And the Dolphins just looking to run it out. So Don Sprock has come on in relief of David Woodley, and will chalk up another relief victory for Don Shula, who will make it 26-7 when Shula has gone to the backup quarterback.
It didn't look that good to start off with, because Strock threw 2 interceptions in a hurry, but they've come back, and the defense of that Miami Dolphins has really done the job. This with this victory for Miami, for Shula, this is what, 14 times in 19 years that a Shula coached team has won 10 or more games in a season.
And while we have the opportunity, we'd like to thank some of the people who made this telecast possible. The executive producer of NBC Sports is Don Ohlmeyer. Football's coordinating producer, Ted Nathanson. The telecast of today's game, produced by Kenneth Edmondson, directed by Andy Rosenberg, and our associate director, Mike Eilbaum, our statistician, Bill Wilsey, and our spotters, Dave Smith and Don Wilsey. Thank you all. Marv Albert, Len Dawson, watching along with a slim number here at Arrowhead. This stadium has really emptied out.
Things have come back for the Chiefs this year, though. I mean, they've done much better this year. This is a young football team. Miami's a young football team also. I was talking to Bob Kuchenberg prior to the ball game and comparing this team to championship teams, but he says, yeah, they're capable of beating anybody.
Well, they're hot right now. Right here, though, let's pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC Television Network.
And this is South Florida's 7, WCKT Miami.
A minute and 15 remaining in the game. The Miami Dolphins leading the Kansas City Chiefs by the score of 17-7, on the verge of clinching a playoff spot, while Kansas City will drop to 8-7, and they are in an almost impossible playoff situation. They win next week against Minnesota, they would go 9-7, but they would need every potential miraculous break.
Yes, they would. Miami coming into this game for Don Shula and the Dolphins, the one good thing on their side was they could control their own destiny. If they win, they're going to be in the playoffs. The victory today is going to put them in the playoffs. They're going to be hosting Buffalo next Saturday. If they happen to beat Buffalo, then they would play in Miami. And Shula coached teams in Miami have done, to put it mildly, fairly well.
Fourth down play upcoming. Final play of the game with the clock running down. And a delay of game penalty against the Dolphins. So this will cinch the fact that it is the finale with 27 seconds.
Well, they've got to start the ball. The clock doesn't start until the ball is snapped. Kansas City
get one play.
Yeah.
Delay of game, offense.
So Tom Morris has come on. The punt back at his 40-yard line. And Bubba Garcia is back at his 10.
I would assume Kansas City is going to send everybody after and try to block this punt. That's their only hope.
Kansas City does not have any timeouts left.
Good kick.
Excellent hang time, and Garcia has to let it fly by. So the Chiefs will get at least another play, maybe a couple off with 18 seconds remaining.
The game's over. I mean, a miracle could happen in 18 seconds for the Chiefs to come back and get 10 points, but this is terrible because you got one play, maybe two plays, and you know how hard-fought this ball game has been and the number of injuries sustained already in this ball game that you'd hate to see anybody get hurt on either team with maybe one or at the most two plays remaining.
And it's also the type of situation with Kansas City down at this point. You don't even want to be out on the field. 18 seconds left, trailing 17-7. Here's Fuller. And he bloops one. Incomplete. So 12 seconds remaining. Recapping the scoring, Tony Nathan, 5-yard run. Late first quarter made it 7-0 Miami. Early second, a 25-yard run by the quarterback. Fuller set up a 2-yard touchdown pass for the tight end Al Dixon to tie it at 7. 5 minutes left, second quarter. Uwe von Schaman, 39-yard field goal, made it 10-7. And early fourth quarter, Andre Franklin brought it home from a yard out to give the Dolphins a 17-7 lead.
That's the Miami Dolphins. They're still very much in the hunt to go all the way for another Super Bowl victory. But for Kansas City, for all purposes, the season is over. But it has been a good season for the Kansas City Chiefs. And here's a miracle shot. That's going to bring rain, I think. Who's got it? Nobody.
Well, the Dolphins claiming it did not hit the ground, but it's ruled incomplete. And an argument put up by Lyle Blackwood. As time has run out, Blackwood wanted the intercept. That wraps it. The Miami Dolphins defeat the Kansas City Chiefs 17-7. Marv Albert with Len Dawson saying so long from Kansas City.